Warning: the following TTRPG stream is intended for mature audiences and may contain material that is not suitable for all viewers. Viewers who may be sensitive to graphic content should proceed to the video description below, where timestamps of such events are provided to the best of our ability. Viewer discretion is advised. Thank you. Hello, my fellow folk from the past, present, and future. Welcome to the 12th episode of Season of War, the first campaign for Lore Weavers TTRPG. Just gonna do some quick, short introductions here, starting with Autumn.
Hi, you know me. I'm Autumn.
Yes.
That's my introduction.
Wow.
Over to Billy.
Hi, I'm Billy. I play Sushi, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting started.
Absolutely. That'll bring us to Cal.
Hello, everybody who is ready to enjoy some Dungeons and Dragons tonight, because I am bringing the energy to compensate for my exhausted fellow players at this table.
Woo! Thank you,
Yeah.
Cal. So bring us over to our sick Rez, which is why
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm as strong as ox. Yes, my name is and has been Rez. I am playing Ghax, Dampcast, and I am a little bit sick, but you know, we move.
Well, you did have gills yesterday, which might explain some of the, congestion you got
just
going on.
That works. So throw it in.
The airways have to, recombine.
That's what we'll rock with. Which will bring us over to Tables.
Hello, I am Tables, and I play Althidon Kruskalin, the Unia wizard, other magic ability, Mistwalker. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that just leaves it to little old me. I am Jack, the GM here for the Season of War campaign at Lore Weavers, and without further ado, I think we should get into things. It is dusk on the 29th of Horisol, 1326 PD, as the Plumbers sneak their way back into the city of Seawards Port. Having enjoyed a short respite from the horrors of revolution after slaying an ancient aboleth, you now find you have to steel yourself and find your resolve once more as you head back into the fray. However, while hidden in crates that are being smuggled into the city, you do all hear this message from the magical loudspeakers. Akash Lumaroth, former captain in our glorious army, the famed flame of the basin. Like you, I came from scraps, and through my efficiency and prowess, made a name for myself. I studied strategy tirelessly, yet I always came back to the one who never lost. The sole true soldier's leader, whose tactics, when employed by themselves, as in you, have never failed. In no small way am I who I am today because of your inspiration. So turn yourself in. Return to the hero of the Empire that street kids like me could look up to. Turn yourself in. Tell us about the rebels, so we can bring unity and peace to this troubled city. I will personally ensure you, nor any of the younger siblings of the McPherson family, will meet the death penalty. After all, I was a street kid myself. Anything else, and I will employ the tactics that you used against Calridge McAllister in the Harefoot Basin. I think you know to what I am referring to. But even if that is the route you wish to take, as my hero, I offer you One last privilege. A duel. The flame of the basin versus the ram of Roxford. Oh, what an epic chapter of history that could be. Anyway, if you win, I give you your Brea. But just turn yourself in. Be the man that the Empire needs you to be. Be the man that you were. Wake up from the sickness of rebellion and realize that there's only one truth and one way out. I await your response. Till then, goodbye, my childhood hero. Akash Lumaroth, former
Big spooky man giving us dinner and a show. I'm just gonna take out a little bit of the aboleth that I have and just munch on it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. As you're munching on it, you're still in the crates, being carried through the city. As you're at this juncture, dropped, set on the ground. You can tell, and there's a crowbar that enters in, and it pries open to see the large, familiar to you, Goliath visage of Gar of the Shadow Band. As you look around your surroundings and realize you're just in the surface level of the warehouse that is above their headquarters, known as Shades End.
You want some?
I do not know what that is.
Oh, it's aboleth.
No.
Does it taste?
Welcome back. You were gone for a little bit of time. We were worried. Until El Capitan told us that he got your message.
Good.
Message? Oh.
You don't remember I sent out a message to him.
Man, I think if you told me that last night, that was probably the wrong time to tell me.
I think it was before you went out partying. But maybe you were not in the room. I don't remember. It was...
Yeah, I might have been. So what's been going on around here?
Troops came back from the cliffs to the west, saying they spotted you all, shot at you all and sunk your ship, but...
More like
Is
sank
anyone
their own.
buying that?
Why
I
would
would-
they have reason not to?
Oh, fair
Well-
enough, I suppose.
Well, the Shadow Band did get our message, so at least you have the facts straight.
Did Capitan
Correct.
put the cloud writing that I asked?
Well, he was going to do that tonight. They've been, Delphina is feeling better. She's helped clean some water, and we've been discreetly dispersing it throughout the city. The lines, our source won't be pure for weeks, but perhaps months. But, he was going to put the symbol out tonight. Perhaps you should do the honors. Either way, everyone's still inside. You should come down quickly.
Yeah.
Sushi. Oh, I gotta open up the crate for Sushi. As he pops open Sushi's crate. As you pop out, you do see in the corner, sort of now getting alert, is Squirrel the elephant.
Yeah. He's
There's
alive.
our
He's
elephant!
Slowly kind of opens her eyes. I was napping, you know.
Oh.
Kind of pulls her head out and looks around.
Yeah.
Rolls the barrel off, breaks it on the ground. Probably takes a little bit of damage, then moves over to Squirrel. if Squirrel doesn't pick her up already.
Yeah, Squirrel will. Trunk reaches out, wraps around you, and pulls you in that familiar manner. Not too tight where you can get out if you wish, of course, but yeah, not necessarily super loose either, as sort of wraps you up. It's at this point you see 4 little bunnies hop out as they were nesting like close to Squirrel, having not have to be in the nest that's like portable underneath her stomach. As they sort of hop over, curious.
A girl and her elephant. Tale as old as time. It's a beautiful
Althidon.
sight.
I forgot about you guys, and then just keeps each of them a pet, and then looks at Squirrel. It's a good squirrel.
It's almost enough to make
Squirrel
a grown
agrees.
man
Squirrel has been a
cry.
good squirrel.
I assume her wounds look like they've healed up nicely.
Yes, the wounds have healed up nicely. There's a little bit of scarring over them, but that's natural.
Groovy.
Right, we were gonna go inside. Or...
Yes, but I figured the little animal girl would want to visit her animals first.
Kind of looks over him. I'm not an animal.
That's
Not-
not what I meant. Yes, anyways, he's gonna go over,
Oh, boy.
change the dial at Shade's End here to meet to the specific orientation, which is 4:32 and 42 seconds, which unlocks the secret door, and you can head to the makeshift sort of chain elevator as you head down to Shade's End.
You want
Yeah.
some Althidon? I got some in bids.
That Althidon jerky? Sorry, that Aboleth jerky?
Well, I didn't have time to bake it into jerky.
Give me a piece,
So it's-
Major Akash says as he reaches over and grabs
Yeah, he
it.
just kind of like tosses it over his shoulder to him.
It's really tough.
I think I'll pass.
Don't be a baby.
I'll pass. But
It's weirdly sweet.
Yeah, it's actually quite good.
Melangarn, and he'll summon him and say, "You go spend time with your friends."
Melangarn, the Almirage familiar of Althidon with a curved unicorn, you know. On
Big
his head.
orange rabbit.
Mm-hmm. Hops over to play with the fellow bunnies before you head down. As you all make your way down, you step out. You see a bustling Shade's End. I mean, it's coming to nighttime here, so they're gearing up for prime action time. A lot of times, like, Shade's End's a lot quieter during the day, as that's when a lot of folks are sleeping. But yeah, you see a bustling Shade's End. As you walk in, you actually see several of the street kids practicing with Poppy's hand crossbow on a target, as she appears to be getting them back in training. She turns around, sees you all, and she goes, "Oh, you've returned! Everyone!"
I
They're-
have! Yonan's
they're
gonna
back.
run over and
Yeah,
give
right.
her a big hug.
I'll let
Mhm.
you then take over.
"Oh," she'll hug you. "It's good to see you, brother. I knew you'd make it
Oh,
back. You
good
promised
to
me."
see you. I did, and I always take care of me promises. So, have you been a good little girl?
In the way that I've been a very good bad little girl.
Close enough. I think you deserve a little something. And Yonan is going to reach into his bag, and he's going to pull out that scarf that he very nearly got thrown into a dungeon for stealing off of a member of one of the leaders of Waterworld.
Oh, yes. What was that again that you stole? My apologies.
It was a scarf, and
Yeah.
I stole it from what are they called? The dock masters? No, the
Jarja. I believe you stole it from Jarja Longarm, the first mate of Waterworld.
First mate. Oh.
Wait, no, it's one of the a member of the council of the ship's wheel
Crossbone
council. Crossbone Council.
Yeah, she is the first mate. That is her role on that council. All the members of the council have roles that are like ships, but it's for the city, as the city is their ship.
City's a giant ship. Yeah.
So I take it out, I tie it around Poppy's neck.
Mm-hmm.
I managed to steal this from from a member of the Crossbones Council.
Oh, that sounds fancy.
I indeed it is. Your brother's been on quite a long trek these past days. After he rolls up his sleeves a bit. After I showed that monster what was what, he called in some mates of Ghax, and some mates of Ghax's friend Nelsa showed up, gave the Empire Navy a good whumping, and then we spent the rest of the day in Waterworld.
Waterworld? Is that the one, this pirate one, right? The stories?
Aye, the floating city of pirates.
Oh, tell me all about it.
There'll
Kids,
be
everyone
plenty of
gather round.
No, there'll be plenty of time for stories later. The big brother's got work to do, but this scarf was taken from the first mate of the Queen of Waterworld.
The Queen?
They
have a
really
queen
call it
there.
a queen. Well, it's not really a queen anymore. The official title is what the fuck was it? Head captain or some other such.
There actively was not.
Yeah, first mate.
There was they're officially run by the Crossbones Council, but it's the Droplet of Death who runs the show there.
She sounds dangerous.
Aye, mighty dangerous. Her ship vanishes off the waters and reappears like a puff of smoke.
Oh no.
Oh yes, and your brother had a ride in that ship.
You got to ride in a magic ship? Everyone, Yonan got to ride in a magic ship?
Little less loud, Poppy, little less loud.
Alright. Hey, Yonan, I hate to be a downer of theatrics, but we have something to do.
Right. Your brother has very important work to do. He'll tell you all the stories later. In the meantime, and he gives each of the street kids one of the tiny cocktail swords.
There you go. Yeah. They start fighting with them.
These are special gifts, handmade in Waterworld for their special guests of the most elite pirates.
Right.
Yonan?
They're very special.
Coming, Ghax, coming. Behave yourself, Poppy.
One of them has already stabbed another one with a little toothpick sword. It's already happened. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
As the rest of you are entering in here, is there any quick things you'd like to do? Akash, I think you probably have a lot on your mind right now, given the speech.
Yeah. So actually, as they're all going in, and as Yonan slowly starts going towards his family, Akash just leaves. He straight up goes just back to his inn, the inn that he's been staying at, somewhat, because he's paid for multiple days at this point, just to gather things there quickly, essentially. But he's just like, I just don't have time for this, and he just rushes to go grab any last minute things that he has there, basically, to kind of sign out. Leave the inn? I'm not sure what that process would be.
Not a big deal. You just grab your stuff and, return the key, basically.
Wait, is there... So Akash is leaving, right?
So,
Yeah.
as you guys get to the bottom of the elevator, you see this is happening, you have to turn around and go back up the elevator. So it's hard to sneak out of here.
No, he's not sneaking. He's just, after what had happened, essentially, you basically, all you would hear is just a fuck this under his breath, and then he goes back to the elevator and goes up. He mumbles, I'll be back in a few minutes.
Akash, are you... Oh, okay. You're a fugitive, you know.
And then, he would just leave. Because just after everything that's happened, like, he has not had a chance to any time to himself yet. Just, he's basically... If someone pisses him off, he will punch them in the face kind of moment. So he just needs time, a few seconds to breathe and kind of just clear his head. So that's kind of what that's acting as.
Ghax is just like pulling down at his cheeks, and he's just like, "Oh, none of you have any sort of focus."
Sushi, you would definitely notice with your passive perception Akash leaving as well.
I think she would just let him be. At which point, I think Sushi would climb up to the top of the building.
So you guys are underground right now.
Yeah, we're...
Oh.
Yeah, you get in the warehouse, you go through the secret area, and then you take an elevator deep underground.
Okay.
So Squirrel's up top, where they keep her.
Yeah, okay. I'd be with Squirrel then, wherever she's at.
Okay, so you didn't even come down then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so then you're up there as Akash kind of comes up the elevator then at that point?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you would just see him walk off. He doesn't acknowledge you at this point. Like, he's very much like focused, kind of just staring ahead and just going. Not running, but like walking at a moderately fast pace. Do you say anything, or do you just kind of just...
She just kind of waves. And that's it. Like, just nonchalantly. Not trying to interrupt, but at the same time... Yeah.
Right, so you didn't notice me. I'm Bren. I was keeping care of the animals here. Does he know he's wanted? Like, there's posters all throughout the city of him.
I'm pretty sure we're all wanted.
Yeah, but his face is everywhere. And they have the whole announcement about him.
I better go. I better follow. Sushi's gonna track Akash.
Okay. Akash, as you're making your way, are you doing anything special to disguise yourself or anything like that? I think you have disguise self as a spell.
I do. I want to roll to see if even that would cross my mind, considering everything that he's going through.
I mean, you have it as a spell. You know you're a fugitive. The thing is calling you out in the city.
Yeah.
So,
but
I don't
right now
he wouldn't cross your mind.
Yeah, his priorities are kind of focused on one thing right now. I could do it. I'll disguise self, sure, as just some peasant that I've saw walking across, and just kind of as that sequence you like see him walk behind something and then he kind of shows up as something else and he goes the other side of it.
Akash rounds a corner and then Sushi rounds a corner after her, and all of a sudden I'm gonna need you to roll a perception check now, Sushi.
I'm pretty sure she was seeing.
Okay. Can I use my inspiration?
I don't care.
Do you want to use it on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
23?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say with 23, I don't. If you want to roll stealth for me, you can, Akash.
Wouldn't it be the spell save DC normally?
Not with disguise self. There's not.
Oh, really?
DC part. No.
He's not honestly trying to. He's just. He has a few important things that he has to get.
Yeah.
And that is what he's doing. So.
She would see essentially with the new disguise and continue tracking the new disguise then.
Okay. As you make your way, here's one thing I will say. They are looking for you. there are entities that work for the army/government known as Peacekeepers that can see through illusions. This happened to you before. That's why you're wanted right now, is because you were able to play off using your old military credentials, but you use your old military credentials so they know you're in the city now.
Yeah.
So I would ask you to make a deception check for me.
Okay.
And before you make it,
Oh, I just rolled it.
oh shit, that's a natural 20.
Whoa!
Never mind. I'm not rolling
Whoa.
shit, guys.
Let's go.
Yeah. Akash, you're able to pass yourself off very effectively as a beggar of sorts.
Yes.
A tall beggar, but a beggar. Yeah, you're able to make your way through. Sushi is able to kind of keep track of you, like off and on. Like your stealth would still be lower, but only because Sushi knew that you were heading this way, right? Yeah. So, yeah, you're able to make your way back towards what was it? It was in the same district.
Mhm.
The pit stop. Yeah, the pit stop is the dive bar you're staying at. As you make your way there, you see it's sort of like nestled into the edge of the industrial district. The pit stop is sort of like a gritty dive bar that caters towards a lot of the hardworking denizens of the Woolport district of Seawards Port, being like an industrial district. So it's a bar. It's a dive bar that's open 24/7 because of people getting off of shifts at weird hours, But it also functions as an inn that's very cheap, and this is where Akash was staying. As you enter in, Akash, it is about at this juncture, probably like 7 p.m. It's just after dusk, As you make your way in, you get the smell of like shitty tobacco smoke sort of hits you've been in a bunch of dive bars, stale alcohol that's been spilt on the floor that's been there for a while, And you do hear a familiar voice as he goes, "And there I was, out on the open seas.
Oh, boy.
Staring down the Kraken itself as it came and swallowed my ship whole. And that was 3 ships ago. Anyways, I'm Captain Whiskeris. It is a pleasure to meet you. Yes, I will take your drinks." As there's like 3 people that give a little applause to him after his story.
Oh my god.
So then, yeah, as he'd entered, he'd have like a kind of a visceral reaction to the smell at first, just because. But like, yeah, he would just rush upstairs to his room. Then,
Are you staying in beggar disguise so like no one recognizes you? Okay, that's pretty fun. This is also the type of place that like if you checked out as a different version of yourself, but were able to kind of like prove that it's still you, they're not gonna ask questions, sort of area.
Well, the one thing I wanted to ask with is how busy is it right now? Because he's not weaving through people. He's going straight. So if someone's in his way, he's going to push them aside.
Shoulder check him.
Yes.
About 7:30 p.m. Honestly, it would not be that busy right now because of the way that shift hours come. There's still some people. There's a chance that someone might, so I'm just gonna roll a d20.
Because that is a chance that
Nope.
could happen. Okay.
Yes.
So
yeah,
then,
absolutely. But no, not this time. You do maybe. I think you like bump someone's chair and it jerks them a little bit, but it's nothing that's gonna like start a fight.
Okay. So then, yeah, he would go up and basically, because he left a lot of more of the important stuff back there before the Aboleth fight, thinking he would return. So the only things he'd be getting, he has like this small, like little pouch that he keeps like military mementos in that he would want to take with him, and then he just wants to get the rings that he crafted from Manny's musket.
Yep.
Everything else he could care less about. Those are just the 2 things that he wants to make sure he has on him. So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then he basically does shoot back downstairs, put 10 gold on the counter with the key, like twice of what the room's worth, whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You see you had a rapport with this bartender too because she's actually a female dragonborn that owns this place. So it's like, got to look out for the homies. So she's like, right. And, John Doe just Just checked out. Wonderful. Thank you for coming to stay. You're welcome anytime. Would you like to leave out the back? You can.
He's already gone. Going back
Yeah.
to where everyone else is. So, and he just same thing as before. Just does Sushi kind of hide and try to follow him again, or
Well, as
I don't-
she's
yeah.
following, I think she would just kind of be stealing items to make a really makeshift disguise.
okay?
Oh God! Give me a stealth check, Sushi, and then give me a sleight of hand check.
Okay, I do have a disguise kit too that I could utilize.
This is
maybe. I don't
the
know.
second time we've tried this, and the first time went horribly.
So it's
Oh,
a
boy.
16 for
Mhm.
stealth
He's
Okay.
a man in love,
and
man.
sleight of hand. 25.
25.
Dang.
Yeah. Now that's just stealing random shit. So now I'd like you to roll me a luck check, please.
A luck check. What
Just
am I
a
rolling?
D20. Just a flat D20.
A mop head is a wig. I kind of want that.
10.
10, perfectly in the middle.
A very
I
mediocre
was
disguise.
expecting him to roll
Yeah,
a 20
yeah.
and just be walking around in a full suit with a top hat, monocle, a little pipe. That
You tell
false
me
mustache.
what Sushi looks like at the end of this. It's pretty successful, but it's Sushi grabbing random items. So do with
I
that
think
what you
she
will.
looks almost like a little Red Riding Hood outfit now. So now she's got this like red hood and cloak going down instead
Yeah.
of her traditional pinkish purpley colors, and it's actually neat and clean looking.
Oh,
That can't be
Uh,
Sushi.
With some
Yeah.
fancy embroidering or whatever down the edges that she just kind of snagged off some poor old lady as she walked by.
yeah. So you see, Akash, as you're leaving, you see skirting down the side of the sort of alley, even though the stealth is probably better than your passive perception, I think eventually you would catch on and see Sushi in a bright red velvet, like very fancy, very nice
Looks like a
cloak
woman
with
shawl.
some like silver embroidery on it. uh, it's still covering her face, so you can't see the full goblin. But please describe if there's anything else, Billy. Maybe some
Would
glasses.
she notice that he notices her?
Yes.
No rolls.
He just looks at you and just kind of rolls his eyes and just keeps going.
Okay, Sushi continues to follow, but hiding still.
Okay. As that's going on, back at Shades End, Althidon,
Yes.
Ghax,
Yeah.
Yonan, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
What are you up to?
I'm gonna go over to Akash and say, yep. So other than being really tough, how does the aboleth taste?
Well, it's tough, but it's sweet a little. It's not bad. Slimy.
Well, if you start growing gills, speak up, and sure, you'll be fine.
I can cure
Probably.
myself.
Exactly, you're the one that's probably the best equipped for.
Actually,
Growing
can't.
gills.
I can't grow the gills. It's a disease. So
Oh, you've got. Oh, that's right. Holy men can do that whole. Right. That's a useful power.
other stuff can still affect me, but not the gills. Anywho, yes, I can cure our friend here if he starts to get
What?
a little.
No,
thin.
I'm fine. I can.
So if you eat something that's like spoiled or something, do you still get like stomach problems, or is that covered as well?
Oh yeah, do you get the shits?
Yes, I
Oh.
can still eat Uzbekian taco shell and it'll get to you.
What? Well, then what's the fucking point?
To not grow gills.
Well, no, I'm talking about what's the point in like being so holier than thou and still getting the shits. I mean, that seems like
Do
that
I
should be
come
part
off
of the package.
holier than thou to you?
Well, more than me.
Not a high bar to clear, Ghax.
I mean,
I
you know,
have to
you
address
are-
my men now.
yeah.
They don't know about Caltheon yet. Although I'm guessing that
Ah.
they figured it out. So,
Speaking of, if you need any help, just I'm here.
Mhm.
thank you. But I believe El Capitan will probably wish to speak with you here.
Oh, right. Yeah, go do you, sir. And he just kind of like gives a informal, like, small salute.
He does a very formal, not small salute. And turns around and makes his way to the side room to speak to the scale guard. As you guys are making your way towards the back, you see coming out of the side room is the small, gnomish figure with the long hat and the feather in it, known as El Capitan. As he's walking out, wrapping a bandage around his forearm. Delphina McPherson behind him as he is turning around and has a small sort of exchange of thanks to her. Well, I see your brother has survived as reported. Oh, that is good news. Hi, Yonan. You made it.
You're back on your feet again. That's good to see. It's good to see.
Still a wee bit tired, but getting some water for some folks and some other things was good to help out again.
Just don't push yourself too hard.
Yeah, as you see, Becca is coming, following behind them. She's like, Delphina, wait up! As she's going to, like, get her shoulder underneath her to, like, help her walk. She's like, I told you can't be on your feet again. Oh, hey there. I see you survived. That's good. Our sister here is trying to do more than she should, Yonan. I suppose it runs in the bloody family.
More than you know, Becca. More than you know.
Oh,
Ghax is just like giving a small side eye towards Yonan.
mm,
Just basically like, you know, get along with this.
mm. Becca, if you could take Delphina to rest for a second, there is some matters that I should speak with the others about.
Aye, that's... Right,
So,
back to business.
unfortunately, it is not much time.
Well, there rarely is. How can the plumbers help my second favorite gnome?
And who would be your first there?
Oh, my mother.
Well, that is always good to be close to your mama.
Adopted.
I figured.
What, you don't think-
up and down. Anyways,
What, I don't look like you?
I have not done the sky right as you asked, Althidon.
We heard there was some trouble, so it's
Aye,
fine.
we heard the message on the loudspeakers. There's
Yes,
bit of a display.
Unfortunately, I was out I wanted to get a look at this Larkin fella again with my own two eyes, you see? And he, I do not say this lightly when I say that when I do not wish to be seen, I am not seen. But I got caught last night briefly.
Oh.
And you see as he looks down at his arm, fully bandaged, but you can see like just the scar tissue, like it's been magically healed, but there's still a wound there. He goes, he left me with a bit of a gift.
I assume this isn't gonna cause a problem?
No, I will be okay.
Oh, I mean, like, I know you're gonna be okay. I just mean, like, no one followed you or anything.
He is not tracking me. There was one that followed me from the scene, but he did not make it very far before I put a fucking hole in his skull.
What?
Brutal but efficient.
Well, that's what we
What?
kind of have to do here.
What information were you able to gather on this this fella?
Oh, and sorry that the rest of us aren't here right now. I think Akash
Yeah, we're
went to
down
do
to-
something, and Sushi's upstairs with the animals. Nope, wait, she's gone too.
Yeah, I would assume.
Melangard, yep.
I would assume so, considering it is Sushi and she likes to wander.
They will have to take care of themselves for a moment. I wish that you were all here, but that is not how things go sometimes. What I learned is to stay the fuck away from his sword. And that may come off a bit off the cuff, but I mean it. There's something wrong with it.
What
What
did it
type
look
of
like?
gift?
There was a close call there for a second, and as you know, Althidon, I studied divination. If I wouldn't have gotten out of the way in the way that I did and only sustained this, I think I would be in the city of Dis right now.
Wait, what?
In
what,
the
did-
Nine
what did
Hells.
what did this blade look like? Are you saying it's just like it just doesn't stop when it hits things, or?
He wields a very long sword, but the symbol on the hilt is a skull. And I could see that there were infernal markings on the blade.
Oh.
Oh, it's one of those type of enchantments.
I think if you were killed by this sword, it would not be easy to bring you back from the dead.
Uh-huh. Well, that's all I need to know. I don't know if either of you get anything more from what he just said, but I mean, usually sword means bad.
Yes. Generally, you don't want to get stabbed, just as a general rule. But this sounds like some dark enchantments. This sounds like some of the powers of the lower planes. How close a look did you get at those markings on the blade? I mean, I'm sure it went by fast, but you seem like you got a good head on your shoulders.
I'll do my best here. He is going to attempt a minor illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. As he minor illusions the blade, it is fuzzy in some spots. But you see infernal markings.
What kind of what kind of sword were these markings placed on? Are we talking like long sword, more for keeping distance, or are we talking about something that he wants to get close and personal with?
Give me 1 second to double check his character sheet so I make sure I don't fuck this up. But It is either a long sword or a great sword. I can't remember if he wields shield or does two-handed.
How similar does this sword look to Yaskir?
It doesn't look anything like his gear.
Thought I'd ask.
Fair ass.
Yeah, that would be like too perfect if he just happens to have Yaskir's twin brother.
I'm gonna dual wield greatsword though, not dark sword.
Oh boy.
That's apparently a thing you can do in Jack's universe.
You're big enough.
You're lucky.
It is a great sword.
Oh, damn. Okay, so he's throwing around some big heavy hitter.
It was
having to
also
do-
on fire the whole time.
Oh, okay. You know, I think I'm pretty good in a fight, but this guy's got a flaming sword.
Flaming
Yep.
infernal sword. Yes.
He is
apparently.
ordained by the cardinals.
Great. I don't know what that is.
Oh, they're very bad news. They are very, very bad news. This
Okay. Now
fucker is playing with bad magic.
let me ask a question. What isn't bad news about this guy?
He's got a big ego, a big fuck off ego, and we may have just killed a close relative of his. So he's likely.
What do you mean?
I said
I thought
bad
that guy
news,
was fine.
not less worse news.
Oh, did he make it? I thought.
He made it.
Oh, he did. So, alright. Well, he's likely got a bruised ego, so he might not be making the most level-headed of decisions.
Yes, the brother of his is a commander in his army of the archers, Adrius. He also has another brother here. They are twins, the two younger ones.
This is
Adonis and his
useful.
two
This
twin
is
brothers.
useful information.
Okay. Let me.
This is Adrius and Akran.
Can
I believe
can
Adrius was the one that we
Adrius
fought
was the
in
one that you guys.
Yeah.
Listen, I know. All you guys have. Well, you're a lot smarter than me. Let's call a spade here. But let me level with you here. We have a man who's dabbling with some dark magic and to get a flaming demon sword, who is pissed off because we may have beat a relative of theirs within each inch of their life. And he controls an entire army that is currently keeping the city in lock. And you want us to do what exactly? What's the plan here?
I have a proposition. I say we take the city.
Oh, that's gonna be easy.
No,
Do we have enough forces for that?
they don't have enough forces to keep it. If we can get them out, an explosion, a quick, short battle, they will have to gain. Their reinforcements are coming, but they will take some time. So that will give us time to get
Bloody
allies
hell,
as well.
that's...
They can't fight a war on this many fronts. And as you
Bloody
know,
hell.
they have enemies to the south as he looks towards you, Ghax.
Yeah, well, you can definitely say that again. You guys were talking about some sort of writing. What was that? You know, a message to the people.
Oh, well, I sent a message to El Capitan here to, when we defeated the Aboleth, put a message in the sky to let everyone know that the problems are soon to be over, that the Aboleth's been defeated.
Okay, well,
Maybe we should
first
hold
off,
that off for a while.
I agree, because
Well,
if we want this to be a quick and decisive
We
battle, we
don't
have to
want
do that.
the Empire to take credit for what we did. That would be counter to
Right, but if we put that in the sky, then element of surprise
Things-
is lost.
And there's also
I mean,
there's also the message we heard as we were coming into the city about the flame of the basin.
Yeah, didn't he want some sort of duel?
Aye, a duel. That could work in our favor. I don't know this Larkin fella. I don't know if he's the kind of man that would honor his obligations. But he certainly seems like the kind of man that loves his theatrics. I mean, the bloody magical speakers in dead folks' mouth. That's pure theatrics. If he's gonna want a duel, he's gonna make sure there's a big audience.
Yeah, but here we also have to remember that even though they don't have the forces to hold, they do have enough forces to do a hell of a lot of damage. I mean, me and Capitan here, whenever we were going to save your sister, I mean, one of those big metal things came around, and they're a lot more than just a couple of men, if you get what I'm saying. So we don't have the forces if we don't. Yeah, those. We
How
don't
many
have
do they have in the city? How many peacekeepers?
I have no idea. From what I saw, at least, whenever I was overviewing, I've seen at least 4 or 5.
As you guys are talking about this moment, Akash, you arrive back at the warehouse, the upper levels, and Sushi, you are still following.
Okay.
Yeah, at that point he would just go in.
Okay. Do you follow Sushi, or?
Yeah, but I think she'd look for an alternative route in.
Okay.
Is this a raised house or building?
It's a warehouse. So no, it is not. It's like built in, like almost like concreted around.
Okay, like stone floor, no basement.
Well, the basement is the secret basement where they live, which is like well below where an actual basement would be. Hence the secret elevator. But no, there's no like typical basement to this place. It will be hard to sneak in here because it is the headquarters of the Thieves Guild.
Yeah, and Sushi does not know that. So, she will go climbing up one of the sides, looking for an open window or something of the sort to continue following.
like a vent.
Yeah. If you want to climb up, I'd say give me a perception or investigation check.
Okay.
DC for perception is higher.
What is? Yeah, I think I better do that one. So 15.
15. So as you're looking up, you're looking around, you do see a grate. That is, you'll have to climb up a little bit. But as far as like getting into the building, yeah, if you'd like to.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just thinking. Don't know if I want to use it or not. No, I
Try
won't.
to do some like acrobatic shit to try to get up there.
No, I was thinking something else entirely, but it
okay.
doesn't really make sense. And Kat, you really need to move, my dear.
Oh.
You heard her there.
Bunnies are getting in your way as you're trying to find the spot, Sushi.
How'd you get here?
Darn fluff bunnies. She'll crawl into the vent.
What is happening? Yeah. So, give me an acrobatics check as you try to scamper up the vent. 12. So, with a 12, the good news is you make it up to the vent. The bad news is, as you open up the vent, You slip and begin to fall.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
But she's
As,
a
Have you tested
rogue.
that?
She can. Or is that a monk thing where you can fall halved?
That's a monk thing.
Slow
It's just
fall.
me, baby.
Kung Fu.
There's
Okay.
also a spell,
Yeah,
Featherfall.
there's a spell. Yes, I know that
Yeah.
one.
But
What's
Sushi,
that
you
when you
begin
have
to
muscles?
Sushi, you begin to fall.
Mhm.
Just asking if there's anything I don't know if you have Featherfall or something. But
Nope, she's just going to keep grabbing at the vent, trying to regrip
Okay.
and continue
you
up.
slip through. I will give you. I'm going to give you a dexterity saving throw to half the damage from the fall. Because you've already
Mhm.
climbed up to the vent. It's kind of in a tough spot.
It's like when you put Vaseline on like a bird feeder pole to keep the
That'd
squirrels
be
off
12.
of it.
12 is going to succeed. So you'll take half of the damage rolled on my 2d6, which was 11. So you take 5 points of damage as you fall and hit. But you hit something that is going down at the same time, Sushi. As Akash, you hear a loud bang on the top of the elevator that you're in right now as it's going down to the headquarters.
Can I? I don't know if I would have if I can make like the idea of it's probably her because like I saw her and everything.
You saw her a while ago. Probably
Yeah,
would have been a bit since you spotted
I'd
her.
put my hand on the hilt of my sword and just look up, just like ready, just in case.
Oh boy.
Still hungry today. I heard something about a duel.
Ooh.
Not if I can help it.
I believe in this. Are you moving around, or are you trying to stay absolutely like silent, Sushi? As like you have like a cracked rib.
No, she's just going to keep scurrying back up again.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, no, she's just yeah.
so you've fallen. You're on the top of the elevator as it's going down. You want to scurry back up.
Oh,
Yeah, that you
No.
fell from the vent onto the top of the elevator.
oh, sorry, I was misunderstood. I thought I fell
didn't
like back towards like street side.
I didn't. No, sorry, my bad. I might not have explained that perfectly. Yes, you got to the
fell
vent.
in.
You got it opened. You fell in and fell.
Oh,
Crashed
okay.
onto the elevator as
misunderstood that.
Akash is in it. Not that you know that, but Akash is in it and is going down.
Okay, I know
You did find a secret way, and
she'll just sit there for a moment as this thing slowly moves down, kind of just looking around. But she knows she's going under, like
general direction is the right.
away from the sky. So she's a little bit more comforted now.
Yeah. Eventually, as it dings, the cage extends up, so you can like see out into the main area, Sushi. And people, if they're paying enough attention, might be able to see you too, on top of the elevator as Akash, you walk out as the gates sort of open. You see that there are several members of the Shadow Band, all with crossbows out, pointed at the elevator, as they heard a loud bang on its way down, and times are tense, but they all, put them away, uncock them as they realize it's just Akash.
Oh my god.
Sushi will stay hidden, just watching.
Give me another stealth check.
All right. 25.
Yeah, no one fucking sees you.
Wow. Just wow.
The counterproductiveness of these. Yes.
Well, what is Dungeons and Dragons if not coming up with the easiest ways to do impossible tasks and the most difficult roundabout ways to do incredibly basic things?
Yeah.
That's what it is. But Akash, you're able to walk out.
Accidentally breaking into the Thieves Guild is that's a hell of a feat.
That's pretty good.
I assume is everyone in like a back office, or are they all
Yes.
speaking in the open room? Okay.
But I would say Becca would probably see you, and she would come over and she'd go, "They're in the back office there. Where's the little green one?" They're looking for her as
And then
well.
he just says, "I don't care," and then he just goes straight forward.
You're in a bit of a mood.
And yeah, he walks in. If the door's shut, he just opens it very loudly.
That's okay. You're able to open it.
If he
You
has that,
enter in on the conversation. They're talking about the duel, things like that.
if he has that sword that you said about, then I don't feel comfortable with Akash dueling him.
Well, either way, right?
course, it's his decision,
If we even decide to do anything, like have any sort of coordinated movement, they're going to know. There is no a way to do this without being seen.
Right, but so one way to go about this, and I'm eager to hear your opinions, but one way would be to try and rally as many people as possible using the information that we defeated this aboleth, that the Empire couldn't be bothered to help with, and potentially use that information to see if we can pull some of their forces and get them to defect to our side.
Well, I wouldn't bank on the fact of like trying to get the people who are trying to kill us onto our side.
Well,
Yeah.
it'd be taking advantage of the fact that their commanding officers are lying to them, and they don't know why they're actually here.
Do we know that?
Yes, we do. We've established.
When did we establish this? I don't think I was a part of this conversation.
I apologize. You've been. Oh, hello
At
there.
this point, Akash.
Yeah, he would. So, as you were having that last part of the conversation, he was listening from the other side of the door, and he just slams it open. How about instead of planning something without me, you actually involve me in the conversation?
How about instead of walking out on us, you stay? Don't get snappy with us. You're the one who left.
You don't know anything. He just kind of mumbles underneath his breath.
The 41 does have a point, and I think you fucked up one of my hinges.
We've got
Rips
a
door
mending
off
spell.
entire hinges and puts it next to it. I just ripped the whole thing off.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then just puts it up. Okay, can we talk,
that
please?
might be a bit.
Yeah.
And he kind of just
Sure.
like puts his hands like on the desk and he looks at everyone, and he's just
El Capitan will wave his hand, and this sort of like shimmering bubble appears around you all. Well, this way we can talk in peace now that I don't have a door. Thank you for that. Perhaps sometimes you should remember that there are thoughts that need to happen before actions. Akash, I am here to help you. You're in my house. So take a few deep breaths. I'm sure you're frustrated.
The little one.
I've heard what was going on the intercom. I got a bite from that man last night as he holds up his injuries. So I'm sure you're frustrated.
and then he puts his finger up, kind of just signifying to shut up for a second, just like, like shush. They have Seraphim. I don't care
Who?
what you guys are planning, but you're involving me in every step of it.
That what that
First
message
off,
meant.
First off, who is
He doesn't
this?
know. And he sighs, and he kind of like grumbles, and he's uncomfortable.
No, if you want to be a part of this, you got to at least be transparent. We all need to know what's happening here. Obviously, this is something that's getting you worked up, and let's be honest, fucking with your judgment. So,
It's
get out
not.
with it. Oh, it definitely is, considering how you're acting.
I'm just not going to let someone else choose what I'm going to do in this. If you must know, Seraphim is My boyfriend. Just kind
Wait.
of mumbles.
Now that we all know who this is, we have a rescue mission on top of this.
Yes, we do.
So,
Right. So,
Someone fill me in on what happened in the Harefoot Basin.
I would like to know that too.
Akash, you'd be the only one who would know this, so I'm just gonna lay it out for you, Autumn, quick, and then let you disseminate. Does that work?
Yeah.
So with the Harefoot Basin, when he said he will employ the tactics that you used against Calridge McAllister, those were tactics. That basically what happened is he was giving up stiff defense in the Harefoot Basin, a leader of one of the clans basically in there.
Yep.
Currently, his daughter or granddaughter, someone who's related to him with the last name McAllister, is still the commander-in-chief there. But what happened is you kidnapped his lover, named Brea Quickhand, and sort of forced him into a risky attack that he made out of passion. It worked, but one of the dark secrets is that even though you told them not to, your soldiers, like not the guys right below you, but the guys a few steps below you, disobeyed your orders and killed her too.
Wait, Brea Quickhand?
No. So,
Piper Quickhand?
well, but before that,
Well,
oh, no, are you asking Jack or are you asking Akash?
He's asking me, I think.
I don't know. Yeah,
But-
he might have asked that in character. I don't know.
Is Akash? Oh, here, I'll let Jack answer any
I'm
questions
finished
first.
up. I'm finished up. You go ahead.
Akash gets really stiff and very uncomfortable with talking about this, and you can see it physically. And he just kind of looks around at everyone at this point. And he like almost like there's a lump in his throat. He opens his mouth, but he doesn't say anything immediately.
we need something, Akash.
His lover was kidnapped. She died. That's all you need to know.
who's lover?
It doesn't matter.
No, it apparently does.
It very
Either
much
we're
does.
A team, either we're a team or we're not. You're the one that gave the big speech.
And you're the one that... Yonan, I'm not getting into this right now. What happened in the past doesn't matter. What matters is that during that battle, we captured the opponent's loved one, forced them into a point where it was mute, basically tricked them into coming to us, and we ambushed them. If I'm to accept that duel, that's what they're going to do. They want to get me into a position where they have the upper hand, they control the city, they can ambush us easily. I'm not going to go into a position that can potentially kill Seraphim. And then he just kind of just cracks his neck a little bit.
Well, I have some bad news and some worse news. Bad news is if, from what you're saying, if you do, go to this duel, you're going to be ambushed and killed, probably
And if
along
I
with
don't,
this
he's going to
boyfriend of yours. He's dead anyways. Yes, that's the worst news. So, what do you suggest, Mr. Military Leader?
And at this moment when he says, like, he kind of... Akash kind of goes into, like, a moment at this point, because after you say that, Ghax, he freezes up instantly, like, and he just kind of stares ahead, like he's kind of going through what you had said to him, like Mr. Military Leader. That was a joke that some of his underlings said to him when he was in the military, so that kind of just triggered. He that just brought him back momentarily, so he doesn't say anything. He just stares as he's going through this basically PTSD minor episode. Like he just doesn't. He's back there. And he's just imagining what had happened, and you'd basically see that sequence of him telling them not to kill. And he would say this, he would narrate this out. I told them not to kill her. They disobeyed me. I couldn't be the leader that they needed. And he kind of just mumbles that out, like in pain, like as he's just staring ahead at nothing, but in his mind, he's somewhat having this internal battle.
Akash,
He doesn't acknowledge you at this point.
you were the one who said that the past didn't matter. Obviously it does. So, either you step back because you're obviously a bit too close to this and can't even get through a damn conversation without being aggressive or freezing up, or, and this is going to be a pretty shitty thing to say, but it's something that needs to be said, get over yourself. Someone you love is going to die, and all you're doing is being aggressive and trying to throw yourself into a situation that you, on your own accord, left. And you waltzed in here trying to get some sort of... You're basically just trying to boss us around. No, Althidon, please.
Ghax, while that it may be true, it's not helpful for the situation, so let's focus
It's
on
it's not
saving-
helpful if
Attack
this
guys,
doesn't come out.
He's completely zoned out in another world right now. he does not say anything.
Althidon, are you serious? Look at this man. It's not going to be helpful if he just sits there trying to boss us around doing nothing.
Yonan is going to go over to Akash and how. So the height difference between Akash and Yonan is pretty
Akash
high.
is like
Is
7 feet tall, 6'4",
6'4", I thought.
6'4", maybe.
and Yonan is a measly 3'5". So is Akash sitting down?
He's leaning on El Capitan's desk like very heavily. Like at this point, his like elbows are kind of like on like the desk, and he's like leaning over it, and just
Okay,
like staring ahead past El Capitan if he's behind his desk.
Yonan is going to go over and like slowly, very gingerly reach over and touch Akash's hand.
Okay, I gotta roll for this. I'm gonna roll a d20. Above a
also
10, he
use
doesn't react. Above a 14, he doesn't react. Below, he will. Let's see what happens.
You can also use these things to figure out what you actually want if you don't know.
Yeah. Oh boy. Just turns around, clocks Yonan across the face.
Oh, okay,
Natural
20.
20!
Okay.
Ew.
Okay, so then he immediately, as you touch him, he's like, huh, and then he just like rips his hand out of like yours and kind of like leans and like takes a few paces back. And
We need you in
since
the
it's a
moment
nat 20, he doesn't
now.
trip. And then he kind of just looks around.
Need you in
And,
the
like,
moment now. To
Yeah,
save
he's, like,
Seraphim.
full-
And yes, Althidon does clap while he does that.
Mm-hmm.
Yonan's just holding his hands up, saying nothing.
Have any of you guys seen someone going through something like that before? Or are you guys, like, what do you guys think's happening?
Yonan thinks he's going through something, and he was trying to be helpful, and he was trying to reach out and be gentle, but that was apparently the wrong move.
Broke him out of it, so it worked.
Listen to me here, Akash. And hold on. Oh, yeah. Sushi! I've got word that people can see you crouching on the other side of the door.
There is
Well, there's a shimmer now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sushi.
I guess she's being hidden.
Okay.
Listen, we are here to help. Oh, you sound really far away again.
Oh no.
I think that might be your spell, El Capitan.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I have to. Let me rework something. I apologize. It's
Is it two ways, or is it one way, or is it?
It depends. There, is that better?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
now?
there we go.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
But yes, as you were trying to hide and listen to this conversation, you were doing so successfully, but you are trying to hide in a thieves guild. So people
In the
did.
middle of nowhere.
I can't.
They
Eventually,
eventually
we'll get
spotted her.
there. They also know who you are, so it's not like a red alert.
Mhm. Well, I figured
Uh,
she fell there and just kind of laid down and sat there the whole time.
Yes, you're just leaning
Didn't
up
move.
against the wall outside as he goes, Sushi, come in here.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Akash, we are going to help you because that's what we do. Not we as in the Shadow Band, but as in all of you, and now I have got myself mixed up in this nonsense because I love that cunt's sister. And
Love.
I'm
Sorry.
glad that
continue.
came out.
Libby actually said it.
I'm glad that came out.
she's going to be pissed if she finds out the first time I said it is in this setting. Listen, dark times are here. Protect the people you care about. There's not much else in this world. We are going to help you. I can get us to help you in some capacity as the Shadow Band as well, as we have been. But all of you need to work together. Because you're constantly, some of you are here, some of you are there. You can't ever catch up and be together. And it is leaving you vulnerable. You are lucky that the Empire has not capitalized on it yet. So, find a way to work together. Otherwise, the whole city is doomed. That includes Seraphin. That includes your sisters, Yonan. That includes that beautiful little elephant upstairs. It includes all of you.
When we aren't grouped, we're less of a target.
Sushi.
Not anymore. You're all targets now.
Yeah.
Well put, El
You're
Capitan.
vulnerable. So figure your shit out. I don't know how you need to do that. I don't know you all that well. But I saw in that moment, Akash, in your eyes,
Right.
dark things from our past don't have to make us. How we change going forward does. The past still matters, but only in the way that it should guide us in the future. Anyways, that's your philosophy from a thief.
Well, it's about as good as anyone else here, so.
Going back to trying to plan something. We do have one piece of knowledge that could be very useful. Apparently, this Captain Adonis Larkin idolizes who you used to be. Talking to Akash. So perhaps he mirrors your tactics in more ways than just this. So if you know how you used to think, we can maybe outsmart him. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. And he kind of just sighs and it seems he idolizes the worst of me, but
You
and he
know,
kind of just
Hmm?
shakes his head a bit.
I
Look. Oh,
go on. No, you go on.
if we're thinking in numbers, no matter what, they have most of the city. If I'm going to, I'm not dueling him. I'm not doing anything that will risk Seraphin's life. But if we're going to do any contact with him, we need to do it in as neutral ground as we can outside of the city. He has agents and shadow agents and assassins everywhere within the city. If we agree to any sort of meetup with him, they're just going to kill us or ambush us.
So we need to lure him outside of the city, is what you're saying.
Agree to a duel somewhere outside the city where it's clear and we can make sure that there's maybe equal men. Like, there's so many of us. Make it so that he doesn't bring the entire army with him.
You know,
I
I may
go on.
have an idea. So we know that this guy, he has Seraphim, right? He has to keep him somewhere, right? And the most logical place to keep him is somewhere where a lot of his forces are, so that they can't escape. What if, whenever we agree to this duel, we get as many forces as we can, you know, people or whatever, to basically act as this front, while some of us go to rescue Seraphim.
You
Then
know,
once Seraphim is out of the way, we can just fight off the army without having to worry.
that's a good plan, Ghax. That's a good. Wait.
Thought of. Oh, sorry.
No, it's. Althidon has a spell that can make very convincing fake documents. If we could get our hands on a sample of Larkin's handwriting, we could make some sort of fake order that would order the troops to bring Seraphin somewhere where we could spot him.
And then
And-
we ambush those troops.
Aye, get them to move him.
Akash kind of starts laughing, and he's like, "No, this man's going to bring him right in front of us and kill him in front of me."
Is that what the old you would have done?
Worse. And he kind of just leaves it open, but hopefully you can allude to like what's worse than just killing someone in front of him. You alluding.
Well,
Oh.
then what's okay? Then what's the point of here's the crux of the issue. We can't do one thing or the other, otherwise Seraphim gets killed. You know, we do have some magicians here. I've seen that some of you can change how you look. What if we do a switch?
No.
I mean, obviously this Seraphim guy doesn't seem to be as good a fighter as some of us.
That wouldn't work with
I'm
all
not risking
the
it.
You know, well then what do you
Peacekeepers.
suggest? Your other risk is to
I give
lead him
myself
outside.
up. We do an exchange.
You think that's
Seraphin
gonna
for
work?
me.
You said it yourself. He's just gonna kill him.
Once the exchange is completed, what if we pick a location, trap it, non-magically, because that's all they expect is magic traps. If we pick a location, set up some sort of trap, we do an exchange 50-50. We walk into the middle. Once Seraphin is in your hands, set it off. And then we run
Ambush
or
the
fight.
ambushers.
Well, okay. That's all under the assumption that
That could work.
that's all under the assumption that he doesn't just kill us all at the same time. Here's the thing. He wants us all dead. If we're all in one place, right, to ambush him, he's just gonna kill Seraphim and then go to us next. It doesn't matter about the exchange.
If we agree with him
Can
to
you
go
guys get out of a location quickly? Do you have a means to do such a thing?
I have a means to do that relatively accurately.
Yes, and that's also the point of asking him, or a part of the agreement of for me to forfeit and leave with them would be under the condition that they only bring a certain amount of troops with them. Outside the city, limited number of men. We have all of us. We know how we are. If we can take control of the grounds first and make sure that we set everything up, we have the upper hand.
And what do we do if they call in reinforcements?
That's why we have. That's why we trap it. And again, roughly in the city, he would talk about like basically an idea of like an open meadow,
They're
somewhere
only
where
gonna
it's
go so
completely
far.
flat.
What if we could convince the scale guard to be looking out for reinforcements?
Not a bad plan. I've got another idea.
Me too.
El Capitan, I know divination is your forte, but how are you with illusions?
I am capable, but it is not my specialty. I mean, I can tell minor illusion stuff. I can do grander scale, but again, that is relying on magic.
It
We
doesn't
can't-
have
we
to
can't-
fool the bloody peacekeepers. We just need to get a rumor started. It's
A rumor will take too long. We need to do this like within a day.
no, it's if they see El Capitan, have you ever seen either of the Greyhawk siblings?
When they were younger, yes.
Think you could manage something a bit older?
If someone could show me.
We might be able to.
Althidon, can you?
Minor illusion of
I
Kyria
can
and Greyhawk.
extrapolate off of that, yes.
Now, I know. Now the Empire knows that there's a joint insurgents force inside the city. Now, Captain Larkin, he's got a real fucking hate boner for Akash. He wants him, but the army wants the Greyhawks. They see this man running around the town. If they get in, see him running around the docks, maybe see him trying to get onto a boat, they'll be spending a lot of forces redirected chasing after a ghost instead of
He will be
outside.
forced to leave some in the city or risk disobeying orders.
Aye.
It's not a bad idea.
These are all very good things. I think we should hash this out a little bit more, but I like this plan. So, I'm going to go get some coffees for us all, and let's get to this. And so at that point, I think we're going to take our first break of the night. We can continue
Yeah.
planning and everything afterwards. I really could use a break personally.
Yeah.
So I appreciate everyone hanging in there and stuff. But But yes, thank you everyone for watching. We'll come right back to you after the break here. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hate you
Autumn,
guys. No, I'm
you're
joking.
fine. No, you're great. You're taking your character in some really interesting places, and I'm here for it.
I think
Yeah.
everyone's good with
I
it.
tried
It's just
researching like
roleplay.
military strategy and stuff, so
No, you actually,
It's a solid strategy.
you guys cooked in a few different ways on that one, like hitting specific things with some of your thoughts. I'm not going to tell you specifically which ones, but
No, I've been thinking about that was before, way back, like since before the Aboleth fight. That was one of Yonan's plans he's been keeping in his back pocket was, what if you disguised yourself as Greyhawk and announced in a public place that the rebels were taking the city, and they all thought, oh shit, the Greyhawks are here.
Akash Lumaroth, former captain in our glorious army, the famed Flame of the Basin. Like you, I came from scraps, and through my efficiency and prowess, made a name for myself. I studied strategy tirelessly, yet I always came back to the one who never lost. The sole true soldier's leader, whose tactics, when employed by themselves, as in you, have never failed. In no small way am I who I am today because of your inspiration. So turn yourself in. Return to the hero of the Empire that street kids like me could look up to. Turn yourself in. Tell us about the rebels, so we can bring unity and peace to this troubled city. I will personally ensure you, nor any of the younger siblings of the McPherson family, will meet the death penalty. After all, I was a street kid myself. Anything else, and I will employ the tactics that you used against Calridge McAllister in the Harefoot Basin. I think you know to what I am referring to. But even if that is the route you wish to take, as my hero, I offer you one last privilege. A duel. The Flame of the Basin versus the Ram of Roxford. Oh, what an epic chapter of history that could be. Anyway, if you win, I give you your Brea. But just turn yourself in. Be the man that the Empire needs you to be. Be the man that you were. Wake up from this sickness of rebellion and realize that there's only one truth and one way out. I await your response. Till then, goodbye, my childhood hero. Welcome back from break, everyone, as we jump back into things here, as the Plumbers are discussing plans to extract a friend of theirs that is in the Empire's capture. There's also a duel on the table and several other things, as tentatively the plan would be to offer up an exchange of Akash for Seraphin outside of the city and set traps there, typically non-magical traps, so that, well, you can extract him successfully and perhaps knock down a few of their number before escaping. Additionally, there's a little bit of an option of disguising someone or setting an illusion of Kyron Greyhawk throughout the city to make sure that the Empire's numbers are thin. But as we come back to this conversation here, Ghax, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I do want to raise this little tidbit with this trapping plan. That doesn't fix the issue of, well, getting the people or the forces out of the city.
Well, if we could take out some of their leadership, that might give us enough of an edge to, be able to take them in a straight-up fight.
I got an idea.
Yeah.
Please, Sushi,
Let's hear it.
speak, if you will.
Well, they're using the, and it kind of points at Akash, the friend as a as leverage, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we just kill them? Then they don't have leverage on
All
us.
right, all
That's
right.
not a good-
That's not an option.
No,
Sushi.
No,
it's okay.
why don't we kill him?
Oh, I'm seeing.
We just have to get someone close enough to poison them.
Yeah, but how are we?
It just has to make the symptoms of death.
How are we gonna?
We be the plumbers. We can go with the the grave maker peoples.
What?
What?
Well, they gotta take the body out of there somehow.
Oh,
They might even
disguise
pay us to
ourselves
do
as
it.
undertakers. It's good.
I think that's a little bit too convoluted
many
and would take a
variables
little
outside
bit
our
too
control,
long.
and,
We're under a time limit here.
If we were dealing with just city guard and just city police, that might be a good plan. But this is the army.
Yeah, and
They've
we
got-
also have to remember they do have reinforcements coming.
Which means we've got to get this. If we're gonna take the city, we need to be done in the next few days.
No matter what, this is a 3-stage plan. First, get Seraphim back, so they do not have leverage. Hopefully take down some leadership as well. Second, via explosion or something else, get them out of the city walls. From there, we can form a defense. And third, get allies so that we can hold the city
Well,
versus the reinforcements.
I have quite a few allies I could call on if that's needed.
That is good. However, we have to complete steps 1 and 2 first.
Right. So let's talk about the Peacekeepers, because we've also had a bit of run-ins with them, Ghax, and I've been putting some thought into that. So I saw when we were in Barracks World that well-placed stick of dynamite will shoved up in the right location will do a Peacekeeper real unkind. They're tough machines, but they're not unbreakable.
Well, where
So I'm-
exactly would that be? I mean, I don't rely on any form of magic, not really, so...
Well, you'd have to sort of get it right up in it. It's a dangerous play, not advisable unless you've got no other options. I was thinking a pit. They're big, heavy fuckers, so if we could set up some sort of pit with a false top on it and either dig it so deep there that it just keeps falling and can't crawl its way back up, or given the time constraints, put some sort of non-magical explosive at the bottom so it fucks it up right and proper.
Actually, you might even be able to use magical reinforcements so that when they walk over it, they would trigger it and cause it to fall down. Wouldn't that work? They have like a field that cancels magic around
It's
them.
actually not a bad plan. Their gaze is anti-magic in nature, so if they look down at the magical thing, they will.
That's a mighty fine plan.
Then we're
So
gonna need
their
something to get
gaze
their
is
gaze.
anti-magic, but are they like attracted to magic? Is that I imagine that the Empire deploys them as like a trump card against magical users or magical attacks.
I have any knowledge of this?
Give me a history check. You're the only one who's able to roll this. It's a high DC. It's because it's not. Peacekeepers are used by the army, but let's see what you roll.
10.
10. Peacekeepers are used by the army, but they are made by the church.
Okay.
Okay.
Those are separate entities,
They're just-
technically.
They're just
I
used by the
have-
military.
I have an idea for that then. Let's assume that they're at least attracted to things to look at, right? Like things with eyes normally are. We need something fast, and we need something with magic to...
Actually, I was thinking we could have a stationary target that looks magical.
Well, we don't know if they're attracted to magic exactly,
That's a
but
fair
we know
point.
but we know that they take orders to some degree, so they'll probably want to look at things that they're taking orders to destroy. So we need something probably fast and annoying enough to get their gaze, and then it would be able to lead them into a trap.
Althidon, that spell you can do that you did on the portable hole, the one that makes magic items look non-magical, can it work in reverse? Can you make like a barrel or a crate look magical to one of these peacekeepers?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, you place. It's just so that it reveals false information about it.
Yes.
Doesn't have to be a magical object.
Make it appear non-magical, but again, with their
could you-
anti-magic
Can you make?
vision,
But could you make
would be
an
cancelled.
object that wasn't magic look magic?
yes, I could, but
Yeah.
that would be instantly cancelled by their vision.
We
Well,
need
that's
we
the-
need something that is inherently non-magical to have magical things on them, so that they want to.
That's
Limit that.
okay. So hear me out. What if we get a bunch of barrels? We carve very magical-looking runes on the sides, and we use Althidon's enchantment to make them look magic, and we position them on the other side of a pit, like far enough away that they'd have to walk closer to get them in their gaze. And we stack them all. We stack them all like we've got some big magical trump card, like a bomb that's where we've...
I don't know
We've
how
got
many
up our
things you
sleeve.
think I could do, because I could only do 3 of them. That would take up
Oh,
quite
you
a
could
few.
only...
Plan's too convoluted. We don't
I
have
Yeah,
can
time.
do
okay.
a few as well, but it's not that. You have barrels. Carve arcane stuff into it so it looks magical. Make it look magical. And then we put a bunch of gunpowder in it so that it actually blows up when they get to the bottom.
That's actually a better plan. That's a much better plan.
It is.
Yeah.
We could also just put something magical over a pit.
Throw them onto the pit
What?
and make them look down with some kind of sound or something.
Yes.
With that,
Mhm.
he would, in the spirit of this, he would take out Denna's locket.
Yeah.
And would this work?
Yes, it would.
But again, we need something to take their bring their attention to that thing. We don't know if they're attracted to magic. We need something or someone to draw attention, because no matter what we do, this is probably going to end in a fight.
Well,
Yes.
there is... Oh, fuck. We could always... We could put it on top of a pile of barrels and
Okay.
then...
I'm just gonna say what I was thinking. I was trying to see if the big brains here would understand. We need something fast, and we need someone who can make a lot of noise. I'm
That's
good at both.
probably
Like squirrel?
going to be Sushi. Actually, that's...
Sushi's better with you guys.
Squirrel's
What do you
fast
mean
and
with
she
us,
makes lots
guys?
of noise.
We don't want a dead elephant here. We need something small.
No, no dead elephant.
Oh, I've got an idea. What about a small rabbit with a little horn that can be brought back if something awful were to happen to it?
See, here's the thing, Yonan. We need something that actually looks like a threat.
I take offense to both of your statements.
But what do you suggest we summon a fiend to come and fight these
I'm
things?
suggesting that I cause the distraction for those big guys so that I could get them to the pit, throw them down. Someone needs to start the explosion. I can do that. I'll be fine.
Actually, when you say fiend, do we know if that
Aravam Shadow Dusk?
yeah,
Is that what you're-
if he hasn't gotten out of the city yet?
You have no fucking idea. You guys have no clue. You've not seen him since that night when they attacked the warehouse. He was in the warehouse when you guys left it. So there's that thought.
We could try and message him, see if he could be paid to come and help us.
I don't think we should try to get any outside forces we don't know where they align with.
Yeah,
He's
at least
definitely
I
against
give
the
Ghax in
Empire.
this. If he wants to do it, let him.
we need to do
Also-
this quickly.
Akash, you pulled out Denna's locket.
Mhm.
You see the picture that's on the inside of it. It's like a small miniature painting, basically, of a young Denna, a man her age, and what looks to be like two children. People that you've never met, her past family. You turn the picture over, and you see what is inscribed on it, which I don't know if you've read since you got the item. It says, "While the path is always forward, and we cannot let it paralyze us, we must not forget the roads we traveled to get here. It is our reason for moving forward." There's nothing magical that happens there, but I think with where Akash is at as a character, I thought it would be a cool thing to just touch on. That is what is on the back of that. I'm your old mentor. You've
Not
had several
only-
mentors in your life. She was just the most recent. But, yes, the rest of you are discussing those various
yeah.
plans. Ghax could run to do it. There are ways to outsource this work as well. There are members of the Shadow Band that could potentially do that for you guys as well.
Not only that, right? I also have a couple magic items on my person as well that they probably would want to, get off the playing field.
Neutralize.
So,
Oh,
And
they
they're
can fucking
non-essen-
try, pal.
and they're non-essential, as he likes.
Oh,
to
I'm
sorta-
fucking essential, buddy.
Mute, please.
If we could set some kind of spell on you when the fighting starts, so that you've got some kind of visible.
Well, Althidon's got some pretty spells. I think we've all.
Oh, that's
seen
right.
those.
You got that new one, the ring. If you could set that on him, they'd chase after him for sure to dispel that.
And I'm sure these things aren't that fast, and even if they are, I'm sure as hell faster.
Perhaps it might be better if you just ride on my new phantoms. No, wait, I'd have to be on it.
Yeah.
But I could perhaps do that.
Well, the thing is, if they get you within their sights, I mean, what are you gonna do? You're entirely magical. That's your whole shtick.
Not entirely, but
You get
rely
where
on
I'm
it
coming from, though.
very much as a wizard.
Right, and I don't.
Yeah, one thing, just to make sure that you know it, your Mistwalk,
Not casting a spell.
it's not casting a spell. It's a gray zone. for like dispelling certain levels of dispels, maybe able to hinder you from doing it, but a lot of them wouldn't, because that is an innate ability thing.
Hmm.
What I'm saying is there's a lot of unknowns if you do it.
Yes, I was just thinking I could have maybe summoned a Phantom Steed, but I need to be within 30 feet of it, or it will be dispelled just naturally.
Right. Either way, we make this trap, line it with gunpowder. I take them to this hole, get them to drop. Distraction made during the battle, of course, because I assume they're not going to just immediately start attacking whenever they see us. And then once the big guys are off the board, then we go after leadership.
Do we think we can get them all with this? Because there's quite a few of them.
Probably
Depends
not.
on how many they bring onto the field, which is why I think having the distraction and... Oh, here's a thought. We still got those guards that are still loyal to Garibaldi. So
I will also say, if we get one of them, I'm sure they're gonna put the rest on whatever just took them out. And well, evasion's kind of my thing.
right. I think there's a good chance they're not going to use all of their heavy hitters, especially if they think there's another fight to be had.
Right.
So I'm thinking that, just sort of sidetracking here, but if we can, in addition to the illusions that that El Capitan will use to just spread it so that there's some witnesses that the Greyhawks are in town, I could get in contact with the guardsmen still loyal to Garibaldi, and they could get word through a special informant, namely myself, that, oh, this whole meeting with Akash is all a distraction. Oh, the joint insurgents are sacrificing Akash. The real business is they're trying to smuggle the Greyhawk brothers out of the city over to Ezbek. And they'll have to, if they think they've got the, if they think they're dealing with the Greyhawks, they'll have to leave at least one or two of the peacemakers here at here in the city.
That, if word gets out, then the Scale Guard, they'll be able to intercept any backup that they may call.
Right, we position the Scale Guard between the city and where the meeting is, and we keep any backup from coming until it's, well, settled one way or the other.
Right.
But also, we got to talk about, we want to get Seraphine off the board, which could mean teleporting. That would be... The problem is that would mean Akash would have to, or Althidon would have to teleport with him.
I don't think that's a very good idea, especially considering, well, the damn name of the thing. It's not something to hedge our bets on, especially if we have a better option.
We could just put him in the hole like we did with the folks that we were breaking out of the prison.
What?
The portable hole.
Oh.
Right,
well, that requires well, that requires a lot of things to go right as well. We want him off the board. If we want him off the board, why don't we just kill him?
No, Seraphine, the one we're saving, not Larkin.
I was kidding. I mean, yeah, put him in the hole. That's a pretty good idea.
Right, we've Althidon spent the last month or so enchanting the hole so it doesn't show up as a magical object. So we could just have it laying on the fields, covered in some straw or something, and just toss the fella down.
Well, it won't be able to be covered with straw unless you weave it together to span across.
we could put like a rug over it. We could figure something out so that it's there,
Yeah.
and we could just roll it up and keep it on. Or we probably want to keep it on you, Althidon, because, well, if you're get caught in the sight of the peacekeepers, you're fucked anyway. So
The plan is a bit of espionage. Put the scale guard between 2 points. Make a explosive trap that I will be triggering with the big guys in it. Althidon will get Seraphim into the hole and safe, and then we kill us some Imperial bastards.
well, Larkin's the big mystery here. What kind of El Capitan? You've fought him. What kind of in addition to the flaming sword, what other tricks did he have on him?
Well, it was not a long. It was never supposed to be a fight. I was just observing, so it wasn't like I got to see all of his abilities. But he is well armored. Difficult to hit. I wasn't focusing on it, but I was unable to do so in the time.
Well, I
He
mean,
is,
we're not going to really be able to.
Listen, his sword is always on fire. It is from the hells. But there is also some divine essence within him. I believe he smited me.
Okay, so we're dealing with another paladin.
Right. Good to know. Other than that, I mean, intelligence is gonna be run pretty thin on that guy.
Well, he seems very emotionally invested in this confrontation with Akash. So maybe, Akash, maybe there's a chance you could sort of rile him up once we get Seraph into safety.
Yeah, I can do that. As long as he's safe, that's my #1 priority in this.
Okay, so just to go over plan. Illusion of Greyhawk in the city to cause some, vocals, voices, noise for the within the army. We are
Right.
going to reach out and offer a swap from Akash for Seraph in some location outside of town where we can funnel them a little bit and ensure that's not too many of they don't bring the whole army. We have the scale guard to watch for any backup troops to be coming, reinforcements that are meant to ambush us. Hopefully they can hold them off. And there will also be potentially some rumors spread through the guard, although I'm not sure how much the army respects the guard after Garibaldi's involvement, but that could help.
Right. And while you're spreading rumors, we're going to be setting up a trap in this chosen
Yes.
area.
Do you have any areas in mind, El Capitan? I mean, I've know a little about. I didn't get outside the town too often. I was more of an indoorsy child. So the terrain around here.
Well, here's the deal. I believe that this Larkin is still going to try to entice you into a duel, Akash. I would not advise you doing that, but if you do, the plan remains the same. Get Seraphim, and then we retreat.
Worst case, I can hold him off with the fight.
That would not be ideal. Now, north of town, towards Hobbitsville, there are some hilly areas We could find a valley in there, or we could have an exchange up on the bluffs. The possibility of falling hundreds of feet can be a great equalizer, and there are some crevasses that could potentially be covered up. That would be a shame if Peacekeepers fell hundreds of feet down into.
I am liking that second option. I am really liking that second option.
Won't have to dig any big pits, so yes, that
Yeah.
could work very
The
well.
negative is we will have to be near the cliff ourselves, so if we get caught up, we could get trapped.
I can prepare a feather fall, which could help if we end up.
Right, we've got some options if we end up going over ourselves. Hopefully, a bit more options than the folks we're fighting.
Mm.
Possibly.
Either way,
I don't like
Uh,
this plan.
well, you
Sushi,
wanna...
how
What-
do you do with birds?
I tweet and they tweet back sometimes.
There are many birds of prey around this area as well. Perhaps one of the more aligned with the more wild, natural aspects of this world could convince them to help as well. In the old days, there are reportings of a rock around here, but
Where am I gonna meet a rock?
A rock!
Hmm.
If there was ever a goblin that could tame a rock.
you know it is big-ass bird, right, Sushi?
No, I do
Yes, I
now.
figured that was a clarification.
Imagine a bird, Sushi. Imagine a bird big enough to pick up squirrel as if he were a mouse.
I don't think I want to meet this bird.
It is very dangerous. There's also smaller members of the same familia, known as Vrox and others. They are less. They're a bit feistier. We do not want to run into those. But just saying, there are opportunities for that as well. Also, in the hill areas, you may find snakes or toads or other things that may.
Having some animal friends come to our aid, it's not a bad suggestion. As you said, they've got
the help we
lots
can
of
get.
defenses against magic. They don't have as many defenses against animals.
It also means a lot more animals are gonna die.
A lot of people are going to die in the following days, no matter what.
It's either us or. Unfortunately, we have to choose.
Yeah.
Would you rather Althidon die? Or some snakes you find out in the marsh?
I don't want anyone to die.
Unfortunately,
how this
Sushi, that
works.
is not reality.
This is war. It's either us or them.
It doesn't mean I can't try to save them both.
And in
And
the
I imagine
process,
you
to
will.
almost kill us. Potentially.
Could have the animals just try to distract. They don't have to get in the middle of it.
I'll let them do what they want to do.
Aye. If we just riling them up, just riling up the animals in the area, so they're so they're pissed off and noticed in the same general vicinity, that might be enough.
You know, Sushi, with the Empire comes industry. You came from Barracksworth. You've seen the smokestacks there. They wish to bring such things here. And already have, to some extent, to Seawards Port. I don't think the animals like that very much. They've moved further and farther away from the city as time goes on. Maybe talk to them about that.
I'll have to see.
Yes.
Wasn't there another druid with someone that more proficient with that than me? What was that guy's name?
Case? You mean Case?
Yeah, he's a druid. I'm not a druid, I'm a scout.
Well, you're both, but I was hoping that Case could give you a few pointers. Maybe we have him help you a bit while we're prepping, and then send him back to the other, back with the other scale guard. I think you might benefit from having a fellow nature lover, giving you a few pointers, Sushi.
I'd like to learn from him, yes.
I also think, on a side note, if we are to do the plan with Greyhawk, Althidon, you should put the symbol of the Greyhawks above the city tonight.
Put that along with the message about the Aboleth being defeated?
Yes.
Okay, yes, we
mean-
could do that. I don't mind if they get the credit. As long as...
No, it's... Aye, we could probably use getting in their good graces a bit after how things shaked out in Bergsward.
If you wish to take the credit, that is fine. Add their symbol at the end. It means that they are with you. The forces got more dangerous. But it would be good for the people of Seawards Port to know that some of their own saved their situation. Not some outside force. How would the folks of Skull Island feel if the folks from Esbeck came and saved them? You know?
Not too good, I'll tell you that.
It would be better if it is their own.
Does your sister have some kind of symbol that they use?
I don't know. If you're in need, I don't think you would really care who saved you.
When you're in need and you're going to have to find the strength to fight, then maybe that matters a bit more.
Look, we're not here to talk about. We're not here to teach Sushi about morality right now. Let's just.
Unfortunately,
Can we
that's
please
You are
focus
right.
to the plan?
You are right.
correct.
Yes, well, we have the plan now. We just
Which
need to
means
execute it.
we're gonna have to get to work. Capitan, if you could spare a few people to help set up the trap. Where are we?
Yes.
Where are we setting up again? Have you chosen that
Cliffs
yet?
or rolling hills?
I'd say.
What do you think, Akash? This is your mission. This is your plan.
So, I have a question. We haven't
Yeah.
fleshed this out yet, but
Mhm.
back when we were in the underground prison,
Mhm.
there was a battle that was mentioned that was different from the one that
Mhm.
was mentioned here. And I remember specifically it was discussed that the way that that landscape was, there was a lot there was like a lot of like hills and crevices and stuff. So I want to go back to that and think about like how that battle went and kind of base a location off of that knowledge.
Sure. So what I will say, that was in the Harefoot Basin, which is it is rolling hills, yes, but it's a lot wetter. So you have like the little rivers going throughout it, which adds an extra piece of terrain that you don't necessarily have here. But there is stuff you can take out of it still. So I would say give me a I want to say history check with advantage, but if there's another skill that you want to pitch, I'd be open to that as well. Like survival, maybe, or I don't know.
It'd be from his
Roll
memory.
roll
so...
Roll for military superiority. Sorry.
History.
Oh, you're. Yeah, it'd be history. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me it with advantage. Yeah.
One second. Yeah, refresh.
Advantage.
15. Oh, advantage.
And
Oh,
19.
19. Yeah, pretty damn good. With a 19, so there's a few things that can be said about it. Rolling hills. One of the benefits of rolling hills is it's really hard for archers to do anything there, right? There's just no way to get a good angle on people unless it's like them at the top of the hill shooting down into a valley, right? Whereas like up on a cliffside, there's a chance archers could get you from a distance if there's a crop of them hiding some. There is that. However, there's also a lot easier way to hide troops around in a rolling hills area. It just provides a lot more opportunities for like guerrilla warfare, which is why it's so fucking hard to take Manitoba, and it's never been done. Is they have to get through the Harefoot Basin, and that's where you're experiencing guerrilla warfare. You're fighting like it's like Vietnam, stuff like that. Like it's gruesome. Where if you did the option more up on the cliffs, it's a little bit more black and white. Like, there's less the Empire can do to surprise you, and there's probably a little bit less you can do to surprise the Empire as well. It's a little bit more of an equalizer. So there's benefits and negatives to both, frankly.
I personally think throwing some people off a cliff would be nice. Quick, easy, gets them out of the fight. You look like you're thinking about something, Akash.
Yeah, yeah. He kind of is just his brain cell is working. Yeah, he'd be. The issue with that is though, it is more even, but it can be used against us.
Just don't get thrown off.
If
What do
we
you
wanted,
recommend?
if we can get everyone mobilized before the army can even get there, I would say we should aim for and need the area with rolling hills. If we take advantage of it, it's not going to be pretty, but this battle isn't going to be pretty. There's going to be ample areas if we wanted to go through with gunpowder, if we wanted to set up traps. It'll give us more of the advantage to do that, but we have to plan ahead and we have to do that quickly. If we're going to go through the cliff, then it's just going to be a straight out fight with skill.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you all, but I've fought against an army once head on, and I'd rather not do that again.
Right, we'll defer to your experience on this, Akash.
Thank God, because I did not want to do straight on fight either, but there were benefits to either.
Right.
But I think you made the right
Well,
decision.
if that's the case, then Capitan, who do you think you can spare to help us set up these traps? And I guess Akash, you'd be the one who's heading all this, and well, you'll be telling us where to place the traps. We'll just be setting the gunpowder.
And then he kind of pauses for a moment. And he takes a deep breath in and a deep breath out. No. We do this together. I can't be a hypocrite on my own speech. Let's figure this out together. There's no leaders in this. Let's
Well, I wasn't asking for a leader. I was asking for someone who had the knowledge, and you're the one with the knowledge. That's not being a hypocrite. That's having an experience.
I think we all have knowledge that can be useful here. So
I
I
can
thank you for the
have-
compliment,
sorry.
but
I can have Rika begin spreading rumors about the Greyhawks in the city, and she won't like it, and she will swear like a sailor the whole time, but I will get Rose to assist you and a few of the newer members to assist you with the setting up as well. There is perhaps set this conversation for another day. But oh yeah. But there are things that must be done tonight. We need to get those messages out to Althidon. I think you and Yonan could take care of that. It is his hometown.
Wait,
Speaking of
what are we
messages,
doing?
We are going to write messages in the sky. That the
Oh,
aboleth is
right.
dead, and that the plumbers have solved that problem, in that the Greyhawks are here.
I do
It's-
have a question.
Yes.
Speaking on the topic of messages, are we waiting until after to call allies, or
We need to call them now so they can get here.
right? Cool. I can't do that.
I can.
Right, I'll be with you then.
Simple. Yeah. And yeah, succinct.
Yes.
Okay.
If you need any magical looking barrels or other type of
We do, and we will need to do some tinkering tonight. Yonan, you're decent at this, correct?
I can
Aye.
I can make those things appear magical for 24 hours. So if I do it tonight, I can get a rest and
While we're
Perhaps-
doing all that, Akash, you need to scope out the area that we're going to be setting up in. We need to know where we're going to go. And because we can't just have you going alone,
do with
we
you.
need someone to go with you.
There
Say
are things
personally-
that can happen tonight. There are things that can happen tomorrow and even the next day. They're not going to kill Seraphim right away because they want you, Akash. And they don't know if you are back in the city or not.
I think you should come with me, Ghax. You're the only one here who has any experience.
Well, I
With-
need to. Okay. in
Perhaps
that-
Sushi as well for scouting and animals.
Right. If that's the case, then we're gonna be sending out. We're gonna be sending out messages to allies tonight, and then tomorrow we'll be doing the scouting mission while everyone else is setting up barrels and things like that.
How much time do we got?
Only a couple.
We have
of
a
days,
few
usually.
days.
Then let's just poison the fucker.
Sushi.
He's
no.
Akash slams
Well-
his hand on the desk. I don't know if he breaks it, but he does put force on it at this point. He's angry.
Listen, El Capitan's got a pimped out marble desk. You're not breaking
Okay.
that thing, all right?
Can I at least crack it? I don't know.
He is a bit vain. He has a big ass feather coming out of his hat. Of course,
Okay.
he has a fancy desk.
But yeah,
okay?
it's just a loud slam then.
Mhm.
What's
not-
wrong?
Poisoning him.
Sushi, have you? Akash loves this man. Sushi,
Yeah, I get that. That's why I'm trying to save his life.
I know that you're trying to do this, but we'll call that Plan C.
But that should be plan A. Because if
Sushi?
it fails, then your plan would come into position perfectly.
Yeah, and Sushi. If your plan fails, he's dead.
Not really. That's what we want them to think. Don't use
Sushi,
real
if you're
poison. You just
pla-
need something that makes him seem like he's dead.
Sushi,
I'm
no.
not risking that, Sushi. No.
there is a spell called Feign Death.
Right, but the issue of the
Just
matter
no,
is we
we're
don't
not
have a way to
doing
get
that.
to him.
We're not doing that. Enough with that. We're not hurting him. We're not
Save a
pretending to
lot of
hurt him. We're
lives.
not poisoning him.
Unfortunately, if he's a powerful paladin, poison won't work on Larkin either. Probably.
By the way, we have a plan. And I swear to God, because I know some of us here don't like plans, if something happens because of your direct influence, I'm looking at
I
you,
feel
Sushi.
the same way.
I'm looking at you.
Wait, me? Oh, okay.
No,
Sushi.
Sushi.
Okay, yeah, no, okay. Okay, then we're both looking at Sushi.
Althidon, hate to do this, hate to say this, you're on babysit duty. Now, we have
Nothing new.
go and we have to go do what we need.
All right.
I'm going with Capitan tonight to send out some messages. If we have time, I'll come get you, Akash, but until then, we know what we're doing.
One more thing. Althidon, and this is for anyone, because we have a very well-traveled lot. Any of you seen that sword before? The fancy flaming one that Larkin's looking around. Does that ring familiar to anybody?
Are you asking Althidon to make a minor illusion of it?
If you want to make me whoever wants to make a history check at disadvantage can try.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay.
I'm definitely going for it.
Hey, why not?
Oh wait, it should have been
Nah.
disadvantage. It should have been disadvantage.
6.
Oh, 3.
3, no. 6, no.
With
21?
disadvantage, I'm going to burn a psionic energy die to turn that 21 into 24.
Okay.
I'll
bad.
just see what happens.
9. Oh, that 27 was so.
Oh.
Oh. That sucks.
Oh, I rolled a natural 20 for the first one.
Yeah. Doesn't ring any bells for me. Then again, I'm not really the studious type.
Yeah. So 24 for you, Yon. You don't know this sword specifically, but it could be one of a type that you've heard of in some old tales that are called Hellforged Swords. And basically, the way that El Capitan was describing it, with those swords, if you are killed with it, your soul and your body are sent to hell. You
Which one?
become the lowest version of a devil, called a Lemur devil, and you are basically like a slave. It's bad. And it makes it almost impossible for people to revive you without going to hell and bartering for your soul back for whatever pit fiend that has it.
So
That sounds like the kind
badass.
of weapon that would be not approved by any government that does not follow the betrayer gods.
Yeah. Odd.
Well,
Okay,
unfortunately, it's on their side.
I convey this to them. Yonan says, wait, if it's a flaming sword... Fuck, I think that might be a Hellforged Sword.
A what?
It's a sword forged in hell. It's a Hellforged
Oh, I
sword.
got that.
It's made,
I got that.
it's made of anti-divine metal. And if they kill you with it, your body and your soul are transported to the hells, and your soul becomes a slave in the 9 hells.
Right. Don't touch the sword unless you want to be extra crispy. Got it.
This is not good. He's not supposed to have that. That's
Well,
the
no
only
shit.
people who have those swords are worshippers of Asmodeus.
I'm gonna just assume that's someone really bad.
Betrayer god, very, very bad. This is
So
In
the
Skull
Empire.
Island, I believe they refer to him as the Lord of Lies.
Ah.
Yes, he.
Oh yeah, no. Well, unfortunately, they're in the something like that's in the hands of our fucking enemy. So, how about we stop that? And we figure out what the fuck's going on.
The
We
Empire.
don't-
The Empire
Does
is
We don't know a
a
little ab-
hypocrite. That's no surprise, but
Well, yeah, that's not here or
Well,
there.
Does the
well,
sword have a
we do
weakness?
know a little bit about what's going on, Ghax. You mentioned earlier you didn't know about the cardinals.
Right.
They're the highest religious authority here in the Empire. They're supposed to speak for the prime deities. They're, interlocutors to the gods. But they've been missing
Uh-huh.
and out of sight for months now.
Right.
And
I
we've
see.
received some information that the leading powers of the Empire are in bed with the folks downstairs, if you catch me drift.
Mm. I think I do. Sushi brought up a really important question. Does this these weapons, have any form of weaknesses? Or are they just, the stabby, that's all there is type of thing?
Jack, do my knowledge of Hellforged Swords extend to weaknesses?
Not with a 24.
So close.
Hey, there's tiers of information, man. There's tiers of information.
I know, I was so close to a 25.
Is
Yeah, you
anyone
know
really
that's.
good at disarming a sword?
I mean, we could try dousing a barrel of holy water on it. That's about the only thing I can think of.
Actually, not
Well-
the worst plan in the world, and I don't know as a GM how I would handle that.
Well, realistically,
Yeah.
what we do know is we get the sword
Fuck.
away from him and probably kill the man.
It's a good first step.
Is it possible to make explosive holy water? Like a barrel and go boom?
Probably.
That's
This is getting
actually not
into
a
the
bad-
Yeah,
spot. What happens to holy water when it
either way.
boils up into the environment? Does holy mist exist? This is not the place we want to get into. Trust me.
Yeah, we have a plan. Let's stick to it. We have to probably start as soon as possible, which as soon as possible is now. So,
All right. Well, let's get to this. And
yep.
I don't think that's a bad spot to take a short second break.
What do you think a man feels when all he does is run? Terror, weakness, the overwhelming feeling of being small. When you're nothing but a runt, that's all you feel, all you can feel. Trying to scrounge out the scraps of those stronger leaves a man with hang-ups. Something that sticks with him for a long time. That could be good though. It can push a boy to abandon the very life that had scarred him for greener pastures. And despite the hardships that could entail, he'd think anything is better than what he has. He has to try. What do you think a man feels when he finds a home that is threatened to be torn away from him? Anger, resentment, rage. When a man's new home is threatened after a lifetime of hardship, he'd do anything to protect that. Whether it be the land he stands on, the friends he made, or the people he sides with, he will protect it. But war changes a man, scars him. Something that sticks with him for a long time. That could be good though. It can push a young man to look at his fallen comrades and mourn, but not break. It can push him to fight on for the ones he cared for that have since passed due to the horrors of what has since happened. He must fight. He has to fight. What do you think a man feels after a lifetime of pain leads him to find the only thing that can heal his heart? Belonging, support, devotion. When he finds that thing or person or place, it's the most important thing that has ever happened in their poor, miserable life. It brings structure to a chaotic world, and that feeling can move mountains, or it can take a lost and angry soul and turn them into something that same sorrowful person can face in the mirror. That is good, and it can peel away what has stuck with a man for every year of his life. It can turn a rageful heart into one who does things for the sake of others with a deft hand and a heart of wisdom. It can get someone who has abandoned faith in their own ability to care. He has. I have. For once I have. And by no means will I, Ghax Dampcast, soil the name I was given and give up on what I have now.
Welcome back, everyone, from our last break of the night. Just going to get through some of these tasks on our to-do list here. As we find the party, the Plumbers, back in Shades End, the headquarters of the Shadow Band here in Seawards Port. You've all fleshed out your plan. There are a few immediate action items here. Althidon and Yonan are going to go to a spot where they can see the sky and the city. So maybe think about that a bit, their speed, and determine precisely what you would like to say, as you will have time to put out a few of these sky rights as a message to the city tonight. Knowing that clean water has been dispersed throughout the city as well, in certain areas that require it the most. Additionally, there's maybe some things that can be learned by Sushi in this moment, and there's some other things Akash could get up to as well. If you all wish to go together for the Skywrite stuff and that sort of thing, you can do that as well, but I just wanted to put that out there. As you're all sort of exiting the back room, having gotten the plan down a little bit, you step out and you see the scale guard exiting from a side room. Some of them, you see like Sindas wiping his eyes a little bit, showing a bit of remorse for their fallen comrade, as they've lost, well, a lot of comrades in this endeavor to help you all out. As they're exiting, they look up and say, well, as Major Akash stretches out his neck,
I suppose there is somewhat of a plan. We are going to rest for the evening. If that is okay, unless you need us.
Wouldn't need you until tomorrow. By all means, rest up.
Don't worry, Squirrel's on watch.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Case is actually up there right now. He left a bit earlier. He didn't want to... He was closer to Caltheon than many. So... I believe he's up there right now. He said he was going to tend to Squirrel.
Sounds about right.
And, oh, Jesus! You see, it says he has to, like, jerk out of the way as one of the street kids, like, shots on a target goes, like, errant, and he has to... It's literally glances off of his... He doesn't have, like, his full armor on right now, but he has, like, some padded stuff as it sort of glances off of that, and he goes... Well, I guess before I rest, I can get them set up with a private little training room. Kids, if you don't mind, Yonan.
You want me to help corral them?
No. I can corral them. I just didn't want to overstep, but I don't want them to accidentally.
Oh, by
shoot
all
someone
means,
that
when they've shot at your chest, the time for stepping has occurred.
Sounds good. All right, you little assholes. As he walks over and starts corralling these kids. Major Akash actually weirdly kind of good with kids when they're like in the more hardened environment, you know? You imagine like he's not the greatest, like there's no like gentle parenting aspect in him, but he's not he knows that some of these kids would recognize if he's being too coy about things, so he starts to garner them into a side room.
Yeah, not exactly teacher of the year, but every school needs a vice principal.
Yes, exactly, yeah. As he starts to corral them a bit. Yeah.
Right then, so, Althidon, just, me and you then.
Indeed. Shall we get going? Do you know of any roofs that are up high and a place where I can see the sky easily? And
Well, there's the local Scholarhouse, and, any other places that are coming to mind? Jack?
In here, a couple of the spots that are higher up would be in the court area, which is where the Empire is, so you're kind of ruling those out.
as long as I can see
already.
the sky, I can cast it. But if it's only right above me, that kind of gives away our position. So I figure if somewhere up high, so I can cast it far away.
Honestly, the Scholarhouse is a great spot for that. It's kind of on the other side of town. Yonan, you know all the back entrances. And it's a place of intellectual curiosity. And that's a thing that Althidon likes, and a place that you grew up in, and it's a clear night, and that would be a perfect spot to cast it from.
Yonan looks up at the sky. Oh, it's a perfect night for this. And he goes over, puts his arm around Althidon's shins, maybe? And he just says, Althidon, my boy, I'm gonna take you to my favorite spot in the entire city.
Beautiful.
Okay.
And yeah, as you guys make your way through the city, any small tidbits of conversation, we will jump back to you, Sushi and Akash, before we finish out for the night. Just wanted to let you know. But as you guys are making your way through the city, any or unless you two wanted to join. No? You could have, but I figured. Yeah, okay. Beautiful. As you're making your way through the city, any small tidbits of conversation?
And I'm switching us over to the psychic group chat. So I'm burning a psionic energy die for the
Hell yeah.
telepathy.
Okay. And in this, we can communicate without actually using language, or do we? Or can we? It doesn't
Correct.
matter. It doesn't matter. I was thinking we were just talking in another language, but if we're talking in sonically,
Telepathic communication sometimes can like transcend language. Like with the aboleth, you heard it in whatever language is like your origin language. So I don't know exactly if that's how it works with this one, but either way, doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
You're able to talk in your minds.
Mm.
Hi, Linksy. We love you.
So, Althidon, this has been a rather challenging few days.
Oh, always the master of understatement.
I have a little talent for it. You've proven to be quite the understudy in that yourself at times. But
I suppose. But
there's something I was meaning to pick your brain about. Never seemed like there was a good time back at Waterworld.
okay.
Caves with the before we fought the Aboleth, but also when we were fighting against them. When we fought the Marrow, how close were you to Akash during those fights? Did you ever see something funny happen with Akash's new sword?
Trying to remember. Actually, I was right next to him
It
for
happened.
quite a few of the fights. He fell down to a off the edge there for a moment, but you're talking about where blood was being sucked into it?
Aye, that was a bit concerning.
I mean, do you have any idea what that means? Because
Well, I'm, as I have said many times, not trained professionally in magic or the like, but I only know what I've read in books here on the here at the Scholarhouse and what I've picked up myself, but in my studies and my readings, I've never come across a friendly magical artifacts that hoovers up blood like it's the last drop of whiskey. That's usually a bad sign.
I can see where you're coming from. I honestly
mean,
don't know. Just blood is life. It drinks blood. Some kind of vampiric.
there's the drinking blood, and then there's the black flames or whatever it was that came off it when he was striking the aboleth.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah. Yes. I completely forgot about that.
It's been a bit, like I said, it's been a busy couple of days. A lot's happened.
Yes.
But it's more than that, Althidon.
You don't think it's affecting his mind, do you?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I mean, look, I know I deserved at least some of that tongue lashing. None of you signed up to be for this revolution, to be minders of the McPherson clan. But a month ago, Akash gave me the sparkly eyes because I got his name right and gave him a clockwork toy bird. And yesterday, as of yesterday, he's suddenly Mr. Drill Sergeant?
Well, we've learned a bit more about his past, so I think perhaps some of that is coming back. You saw how he spaced out there in the middle of the
Maybe, or maybe something or someone is taking advantage of that side of him he's had buried for so long.
Perhaps we should have that church, that sword checked out at a temple or something.
But I was thinking if we ever get a moment of quiet, maybe we head back up to the Scholar House and see if we can find any mention in records of Haskir the Destroyer, was it?
Yaskir.
Yaskir the Destroyer.
Oscar D was the name of the half-elf.
The defender.
Yaskir the Defender. Haskir was the fellow we met in barracks where that's...
Yeah, Haskir D was the half-orc fellow we broke out of the undersea prison.
Right. So, you're going to love this place. I spent every afternoon I could in the library. They've got a public section for mostly it's for the children and folks that can't afford it. And then they've got a nice library for the folks that actually go to the wizard school here. But if you get to know the people at the front desk, get to know where their families live, see to it that their houses are always in good repair and their families get a nice big fat turkey every winter's crest, slide a few silver across the front desk and let you walk right in.
I see. They respond well to bribery, is what you're saying.
Well, town's been one of the few advantages of this town going in the shitter. I mean, well, that's right, you weren't with us when Akash and me snuck into that library back in Barracksward, but yeah, this school used to be a lot nicer, frankly a lot snootier as well, back when the city was thriving. But and everything was going to shite and everybody was, well, worried whether they'd survive the night or not. Worrying about letting useless horse thieves' sons grubby up their precious book collection suddenly seemed a lot less important.
I wonder how it compares to the Breachfold Mystic Society's library.
I'd happily like to hear your opinion, and I'd like to see that library if we ever head up to Eagle's March Way, which I figure it's a good chance that's going to be coming up soon.
Hopefully, I would like to see some people in
Didn't
that
get
area.
a chance. Aye, we didn't get a chance to say much about that either. I got to ask, do you have any family over in Evergard, where there's the big fight going on?
A few people might be considered family. You've probably heard of them, but Molkugar Udak was my cousin.
Molkugar Udak. Wait, yeah, okay, both Yonan and Althidon have been traveling in what to an outside observer is complete silence.
Mm-hmm.
So, Yonan's expression just changes completely, and he suddenly, stops dead in the street, as I imagine Althidon, takes several steps forward, not noticing.
Then turns around to look. Not
Just so where Molkugar is...
Yes, King Molkugar is my cousin. We weren't that close. He's
You see
a
Yonan
distant
is
cousin. He's not like my father's brother's son or anything. It's like my great grandfather and his great grandfather were the same person.
You see Yonan's like upper left eyebrow like twitch slightly, and he sort of slaps himself. So you're kinfolk to royalty?
Yes, he's royalty now, but yeah.
This is
He was just Gar growing up.
Yeah. This is
okay.
parents,
So you're
his parents
So he's-
controlled Udaku Hold, but they weren't controlling the whole Eagles March barony.
right. That's
That happened later. I was a barrel at the time, so it's not something that I involved
At
with.
what point did you discover that your sort of cousin, your distant cousin, had appointed himself as king?
It was about, say, about 3 or 4 years after I started traveling with Sushi.
Well, he only appointed himself as king like a year and a half ago.
Okay, so then, yeah,
He was the Baron. He won the barony
I
via
found out he
single
became
combat.
I found out he became
Took
the
that
Baron
over
about.
aggressively.
I found out he became the Baron about 3 or 4 years after I started traveling with Sushi, and of course, because of that, well, you know, he's only been king up there for a bit over a year, so
Right. So the barony there up in Eagles March, they still do that by trial by single combat, right?
I believe that is still the method. Yes.
So your cousin, he's a real tough fucker.
That's one way to phrase it, yes.
We should share this information with Ghax. I feel like he's becoming irritated by the number of things that we just forget that that we haven't told him.
I think it's relevant. Sure, we can let him know.
Right.
But
Right.
yes, I do worry for him. I mean, as now he's a king, who knows how many assassination attempts the Empire's sending towards him.
Well, didn't we hear that somebody managed to kill his wife, partner, fiance, something of that nature?
Wife, yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. It's dangerous now for him and his family.
Well, I've got some ideas as to how we might be able to help with that naval siege, if that's where we want to go after all of this. Of course, that's assuming we survive at all.
Yes, the naval siege. Yes, that all the more reason for us to help out up there.
Aye. Well, I've dragged you lot along on enough business. I'll go wherever the group decides you head next. But aye, we're just about here. Scholar's house is right up in front.
On that note, I need you both to make stealth checks for me.
Okay. Stealth check. Elf. Normal, not disadvantage or advantage. Stealth. That is a
Hey, that's an average of 20 for both of you. So,
13.
Yeah, you guys have been able to sneak. You would have seen, like, over the course of this time, there's probably a couple moments where the conversation's paused because it takes a bit to walk to this Hillside Scholarhouse. You've had to stop because you see, like, troops of empires going by, or heard a Peacekeeper because you can hear it in the way they walk because they're so fucking heavy. Like, it cracks some of the less new, like, cobblestone streets and stuff. Like, it messes up the infrastructure. So you would have had to stop, but you were able to successfully get to the Hillside Scholarhouse. No real issue. As you approach the Hillside Scholarhouse, you see this. It is. You have heard of some pretty advanced wizard colleges, Althidon, and even though you only saw out of the viewpoint from the high up in the tower in Esbak, like this is not even a college compared to those places, but it is still kept in good shape. It has a few relatively high towers and has the symbol of arcane illusion at the top of one of them. You mentioned that this is a wizard college focused heavily around illusion magic.
Okay.
As you're making your way here, you've made your way up a gentle slope as you're getting towards the Hillside Scholarhouse, which is by the Upper Ward district, where like a lot of the rich folks live and things like that. Because of course, rich folks would have the better view. And this isn't like in the Upper Ward, but it is right next to it, and it is a very high point within the city. But it is nonetheless the first time you've really seen a wizard school like that in a while.
Quite some time.
And for you, Yonan, so much has happened in the last month. Even the last couple months. You're coming back to a place in your childhood where you used to come and it was almost an escape for you. And you're coming here, and it's a beautiful night. You can see the stars above. The moon is full and it shines. Well, the moons. The main big one you can see that is like our moon shines down below, and you can also see the other one. Why am I forgetting the name of my second moon? The blue moon. Also by it. The third moon satellite is not visible to the naked eye, but it's a relatively well-lit night. And you can see it sort of shining through the like towers that you can see on the Scholarhouse as you guys make your way towards it. It looks quiet. You know, the staff here would be at a minimum right now. But if I may ask, and feel free to improv this as you will, Yonan, what sort of secret path or side entrance do you bring Althidon through to the Hillside Scholarhouse? Feel free to improv as you will.
Look around. Well, normal time, I have my own entrance, but in normal times I'd walk in the front desk, slide a few silvers to the old lady who's on duty, just as a basic courtesy. Probably not a good idea now that I'm a wanted man.
What
So
method do you use
just
instead?
have. Well, a couple years back, it's actually a little bit before. It's actually a little bit before I. Well, so back when I was still just a young fucker, still making trouble for everyone. After I came back from working for my Uncle Oggins, I got the itch to start coming in here at night when I couldn't sleep. Used to come in pretty much every day I could spare when I didn't have much to do, spend it to the library. So I went and I made it, and Yonan sort of leads him around to this like back service entrance. I wonder if it's still here. And you see him feel around these stones and pull out. I think it like pulls out one that's got like a false center, and you see this like rusted iron key fall out of it. Still fucking here.
You made a spare.
I made this. This is my official insomnia key. This is for nights I can't sleep. He goes over to the back entrance and unlocks the service door.
Yep. So you unlock the service door. You see, like, they're professors who study here, right? And they require food to be delivered to them because they will not be bothered to leave their studies. So you guys see that there's a small, like, service door. You're able to enter through, and you actually see there's a little elevator, like a dumbwaiter, that can bring food up and down. It is big enough for Althidon to get on if you need to. You also don't need to use the dumbwaiter, but just as a side note, as you guys are, making your way, you basically want to go to the top of the tallest tower here.
Yep.
In
One of the tall
Hillside
towers.
Scholarhouse. Yeah. As you use the dumbwaiter to make your way up to a professor that is not always here in Seawards Port, so usually, gone. But sometimes he'll be up in the middle of the night, Yonan, you're able to check and not see the candlelight underneath his door as you sneak in.
Just come in here for the view.
There are some straight up programmed illusions that are like, beware, like they're like pretend like they're gonna attack you, that you all know they're gonna be there, so you sort of preface Althidon because they trigger.
Yeah, Yonan, you just see there's a group of like effectively ninjas drop from the floor and attack Yonan with scimitars, and he just walks right through them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Pretty impressive illusion.
But that's their specialty here. This place used to be quite respected for their illusionists. They've got their history department is really where the really skilled scholars go. They've got a great history section at the library.
Sure, they have produced quite a few scriveners then.
As you guys are able to climb out the back paned window and up to the top, it's kind of hard to perch for a second, but I'd say, Yonan, you've almost built a little perch. It's been a while since you've been up here, so it's like this sloped, like, conical tower, and the shingles are, pretty steep, but you've almost built a little nest off to the side where you can study, and it's old. Like, you can see, there's an old notebook of yours that you left up here that's been rained on and stuff since then, and just a couple other things up here. As you have the moonlight shining down on you all, and you look out, you see there's a few clouds, very, very sparsely in the sky, and a few lights across the city, because from here you can see the whole city into the harbor and then into the darkness beyond. I ask, what message do you put out?
Okay, so Yonan, for this message, we need at most 10 words, unless I want to cast it multiple times.
You can cast it multiple times, and you can do it as a ritual, and I'm not going to be a hindrance about the time management of this, so feel free to be a bit loose.
I'm thinking something to the effect of Aboleth defeated, water will clear soon, or in a few weeks. And then just a signature, just Plumbers. And then put the Greyhawk symbol as well.
I'd say that gets the message across. Oh, yes, there should be one more. The Aboleth is dead. The Empire knew they did nothing.
Okay, Aboleth is dead. Empire did nothing. Water will clear.
Plumbers.
I'll do the Aboleth is defeated. Empire did nothing. And I'll have that up there for, say, half an hour or so. And then I'll put the water will clear in a few weeks. Plumbers, and put a Greyhawk symbol next to it as well.
How about the water will be safe in a few weeks?
Okay, the water will be safe in a few weeks. And as long as it doesn't get too windy, and I can concentrate on that, and that can be there for up to a day, actually. So
To get some folks' attention.
You put out aboleth is.
We put it
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
right in front of the moon, so that the light is shining through the clouds.
Oh, yes, and please,
The main moon.
Althidon, tables. If you want me to describe it, I can, but I put it in your hands. Describe what it feels like as you're casting the spell for the first time. And I want to reiterate. I mean, you're doing it as a ritual, so it's probably right. Or are you just doing it
Yes,
as?
I do it as a ritual. We're
Yeah,
not
so
in a rush.
it takes a bit to prep, but you feel like the wind picking up around you, and it's a bit of a slow as like over the course of the ritual, the clouds begin to form unnaturally slowly. So please describe what it's like to experience that for Yonan as he's sitting there with you for 10 minutes as you're doing this.
Okay, so as he starts concentrating on the spell, because it is a concentration, and so he's muttering the. So it's visual and verbal and somatic. So he is muttering the words to cast it, and moving his hands, sort of shaping the clouds in his vision, and then the clouds in the sky are also shaping with that as he's controlling it, kind of like stretching the letters out in the sky. You can see basically the wisps of minor clouds that were there start growing a little bit and then shaping into the words.
Yeah. As they're doing so, some wind blows by you, blows up some of the dust, Yonan, around you. As your vision clears, you can see lanterns being lit in homes across the city. People, not everyone. It's not the middle of the night, but it is pretty late. It's probably about 10:30 at this point, maybe 11. As they rush out into the streets, you can hear commotion as they see Aboleth is dead. Empire did nothing. As you guys sit up there for 30 minutes with that, we can come back to some of the conversation that might happen over the next at the start of the next episode. But eventually, that gets replaced with the water will be safe soon. Dash the plumbers. And then there's the symbol of the Greyhawks, the wings of Pock folded out like, what they have for their coin, basically. As you see these wings flutter in the wind, you can hear across the city cries let out. People that were given fresh water today sneakily by the Shadow Band. And the message somewhat spread that there would be a message later on tonight. As you see fires being lit across the city and shouts and commotion, as you have caused a bit of unrest in the city of Seawards Port. The people are not happy. They have not been for some time, but now they know why. And as their unrest carries over to you, Yonan, hitting you like a wave, the city that you grew up in, as you look out, the light of the moon glistening off the ocean. That's where we're going to end the session tonight. I promise we'll come back to you, Billy and Akash, at the start of next session. I did not want to rush that moment too much either. But, yeah, I was looking forward to that. Fucking Skywrite is so cool, man, and so underutilized and perfect for a Rebellion campaign. So, yeah. That's where we're going to end the session tonight. Thank you all for joining us. I know we lost a member because of sickness and stuff, but thanks for bearing with us. We love you all, and I guess when this releases, I hope everyone had a great Christmas or holiday season. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
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 Yeah.
Happy holidays.
Ugh.